All right, we're almost there. Good to go again. Oh, do. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, do. Do. Okay, gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé very good morning and welcome as we preparing the morning program. And as you know, we kickstart with the Star Radio UK. Mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Tony Ages, ṣàlàáfíà lẹ́wà. Everyone kan bẹ lọ́dọ̀ yín. A máa gbúrò ayọ̀ sára wa, àmì gbúrò láburú. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti wọlé sí Ọ̀túnlá Tèmítọ́pẹ́. Good morning, how are you? How you doing? Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé a tún wà lórí live show pẹ̀lú. There's a lot going on in Nigeria. There's a lot going on. And we just hope the news about Nigeria is now trending. 4 people killed in an attack on a US diplomatic vehicle. Ti gba gbogbo àgbáyé báyìí. Àti sọ pé gunmen attacked 2 police operatives, 2 consulate staff, and they also kidnapped people as well. Shout out to those of you that have joined us so far, as we say.
It's all coming away from STARR Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Mo kí every one of us, and I say shout out and welcome to the program as we are getting ready again as usual. Ọjọ́ yẹn máa ń sáré, ibi tó ń sá lọ ni mo kì í mọ̀. Ó kàn máa ń sáré bam 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 bam. Mo kí Abíọ́dún Lexley, Túndé Gíwá, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ti darapọ̀. Mo máa dìde fún few minutes nísìn. So ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ Ìgbòho Òòṣà, owó bàbá dá mi.
Ọmọ Ìbàràpá lápapọ̀, ẹ jẹ́ a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Akin ọmọ. Ọmọ Yorùbá lápapọ̀, tìlé tó kó ẹ̀mí àbọ̀, ẹ bá ń kọ́mọ Adéyẹmọ. Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho, orúkọ ńlá tí ń jámọ̀ láyà bí àrá, orúkọ tó ń dẹ́rù bo lórúkọ gan-an. Ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ má sùn o, torí pé bùrà a kò lè fojú kégbodò láyé. Títa ríro lẹ̀dá ń kọlà, wúrà tó máa dán, alànà kọjá dandan o. Ọ̀wọ́n irin ní má bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ̀nà, ẹ̀dá kan ò lè ṣì wá lọ́nà mọ́. Ẹ jẹ́ àfìmọ̀ṣọ̀ kan ká lè débi re. Ẹ jẹ́ àjọ gbárùkù ti Sunday Ìgbòho, Ìgbòho Òòṣà. Ọmọ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ nílùú Alágbàdo Òde. Ọmọ atapẹ̀tẹ̀ wọnú omi, ọmọ gèdèlè wodò sànyà. Ìsànyà ò rẹ́ràn bàbá yín láàrin ìdí, omi kò síná ń kán sí yín lẹ́nu. Ọmọ òkúta mẹ́ta òkè Ìgbòho, ìkan ń ṣe yín ní dábọ̀dàbọ̀, ìkan ní mọ́ rọra, ìkan tó kù nígbà tí wọ́n ò mọ̀ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́, kí ló dé Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ sí ọmọ òpópó sanran. Ìgbàgede Ìgbòho sùn wọn láláìsí bẹ̀rẹ̀, wọ́n ní kó ní bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó máa kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ. Ẹ̀sìn òní bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́, bẹ́sìn bá bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho, á fi kan pọpọ sí. Amúkan yòókù bọ̀ sànyà, àtúmúyà rẹ̀ tí ò lọ́rọ̀ gbọ́, á fi ṣẹrù wálé. Wàrà mòjé, ọmọ onílé ọ̀la, àwọn àjòjì tó ń ṣe ségesège, tán láwọn ò ní bomi kó sí mu, wọ́n láwọn ò ní bomi sànyà wẹ́sẹ̀. Ìgbà tójú kò fi rí ńkọ́, gbogbo wọn náà sáré bomi kó sí mu, wọ́n sì bomi sànyà wẹ́sẹ̀. Ọmọ abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta òde ayé, ọ̀kan ṣẹ́, ọ̀kan tẹ̀, ọ̀kan tó kù ní gbogbo ayé ti ránṣọ kiri. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá Sunday Ìgbòho onírèlẹ̀ láéláé, torí àbá lásán nìkan ń dá, òkúta ò ṣe gbé fún wọn o. ìmọ̀ràn lásán ni ti balùwẹ̀ kò pọ́sibú kó dòdò láyé ń bí ó kún díẹ̀ títọ́ domi láyéláyé ìtọ́ mi lè domi. Sunday Igboho arógun má ti dí tó ń jà fẹ́tọ̀ Yorùbá ní tilé tó kó.
Mo kí my beautiful auntie Gbemileke ẹ kú tọ́jú mi ní gbogbo ìgbà. I miss call ara wa ẹ má bínú. Èmi náà pé ẹ̀yin náà tún pè padà. Àárọ̀ báyìí máa ń try láti wà up to time pẹ̀lú Star Radio but sometimes tíṣẹ́ bá ti pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ tí a dẹ̀ ní other commitment. Mo kí mọ́mí wa Elizabeth ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò mọ́. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa rẹ́rẹ́ rún ní Nàìjíríà. Amẹ́ríkà máa fẹ́ mọ ta ló pa àwọn èèyàn wọn àbí kí lẹ rò pé ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀. Wọ́n máa fẹ́ mọ ẹni tó pa àwọn èèyàn wọn náà. I mean, you can't just kill people that works for mọ̀ pé ẹni tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún Amẹ́ríkà ó ti di property America. And that's one thing that we need to understand. Nigeria is just a complete messed up. Taba sọ pé messed up ní Nigeria ló ṣì ní to a messed up. But so many people still do not want to agree with us pé Nigeria ti wà messed up. Mo kí Mr. Mosun Ṣẹ́gun and the rest of those that have joined us as well. Because we set up a lot of platform, èmi dẹ̀ ní engineer, èmi ní journalist, so mo rí Ọpẹ́ Yèyé Oge mo kí yín. Báwo la rẹ Ọpẹ́ máa bá fún ẹ lálàáfíà ànírà rẹ o má síkò. Ẹ tó bá ti síkì inú ìjọba wà nílé ẹ lè lọ máa gbó àpẹ́ ẹ̀ ṣì ní access àgbo. Wọ́n ń tàgbó náà ní London gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ ti dilute. Blinken náà ti bá Tinubu sọ̀rọ̀ lágbára o. Wàhálà ń bọ̀ ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí. Mọ́mí wa Grace Senior láì mo rántí pé a ní prayer lánàá ṣá aláìtàlá ìsúná bí láì láti láhùá. Ẹrù tó wà lórí ìkọlọ́ bá ń sọ kalẹ̀. Buhari returns after spending days with his dentist. Ṣé bàbá ó ti dé Nàìjíríà padà lórí burúkú somebody? Mo kí mọ́mí wa Grace Senior JP. Wọ́n ti gbà ipá náà Tuesday ẹ̀ka wà nù prayer ṣá. Ẹ̀rù rántí rárá. Mo lè jókòó sí níbẹ̀. Okay, mo sùn ní aago 6 tó fi jẹ́ rántí nìyẹn. Orin yẹn gbé mi lọ nìkan bí aago 6. Ẹ ṣe gan ẹ̀kọ́ àdúró tì.
Case AG to ask court to commit atrocities.
Wọ́n ní Buhari ti padà sí Nàìjíríà. Mr. Samson Moki say baba, the Nigerian leader who returned to Abuja yesterday evening extended his stay in London after the coronation for another 1 week. Láti tọ́jú eyín ẹ̀ lórí burúkú somebody. Say baba olùlọ́sì. There's a lot going on. News oríṣiríṣi ló wà ní Nàìjíríà. News ìbànújẹ́ wà. Àwọn kan ní news gidi wà. Ṣé news gidi wà ni wọ́n? Fóònù yóò charge. Látànù kí ló dé? Èwo la tún rí yìí o, ọlọ́pàá tó tún náà 2 hours ago lórí ọmọ iléṣòwò rẹ̀. This happened to a Nigerian man who did not slap the police. Nigerian police force brutally humiliation. Ẹ̀bọ́ ṣe ń nà, kábíyèsí nídùmarè. Ẹ jẹ́ mo bí a mo lè lọ sórí Instagram ní bíbá kí n fi mọ̀. Ó wà lórí page ọmọ iléṣòwò rẹ̀. Nàìjíríà yẹn. Àgbákò country nílùú yẹn. Ẹni bá kàn ló mọ̀ òun lọ́rọ̀ Nàìjíríà. Eléyìí ò dẹ̀ gbá wọn létí nísìn but ti brutalize ẹ̀. Mr. Jimoh mo kí ṣẹjẹ́ ń lọ sórí péjì Showboy. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Lórí tí mo rí fídíò yẹn lórí. No, lele. No, lele ti pẹ́ ó dùn lele. Wọ́n á pé lè ṣe ṣẹlẹ̀ ni. Lele tí mo wà rí lórí péjì àní bíbá àbóhùn lele. Ọkẹ́ òun lele. Ẹ máa rí nísìnyí bẹ́ẹ̀. Nàìjíríà kì í ṣe country. Àwọn tó bá sì ń sọ pé country ní Nàìjíríà.
See, go back, go there. Go there, follow them. Come here.
Ẹ wòran. Ẹ já wo fídíò yẹn again. Ó dẹ̀ lẹ́jẹ̀ ẹ̀nu ṣá. Kò sókè. Ẹ já wo fídíò yẹn bọ̀. That is Nigeria. Nàìjíríà tí ẹni ká máa pọ́nlé òun ni ẹ̀yin wèrè. Ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ ń wá wọ́n Nàìjíríà. Ẹ wò ó. Ṣẹ̀rí wọ́n ti sá lọ. Ṣẹ̀rí wọ́n ti sá lọ. Ṣẹ̀rí kò dẹ̀ nobody come láti wá ṣe kí ni. Ilé iṣẹ́ ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ni o. Ẹ wòran. Kí ló lè délé yìí? Ẹ wòran. Kí ló lè ṣe? Tó pààyàn ni. Ẹ máa dúró de àwọn ẹlí ṣẹ́rí wọ́n gbọ́ ọ̀kadà ẹ̀ lọ wọ́n tún nà wọ́n gba ọ̀kadà yẹn ṣẹ́rí ẹ wo wọ́n ṣe ń gbà kan mọ́ ẹ bọ́ ṣe ń gbà kan mọ́ wọ́n dẹ̀ ti gbé ọ̀kadà yẹn lọ ṣẹ́rí pọ́ ọ̀kadà ló ń gbé lọ ṣẹ́rí pọ́ ti fọ́n kàn mọ́ lórí. Gbogbo díẹ̀ láti ṣe kí ni láti fọ́lọ̀ ṣe kí ni fọ́lọ̀ ọdún wọ́n ti gbé ọ̀kadà lọ. Shut up! Gbóyè zoo bẹ́ẹ̀ ni zoo country bí àṣà zoo country ní Nàìjíríà gbogbo yín lẹ máa jẹ breakfast látòkè délẹ̀ àtọmọdé àgbàlagbà gbogbo yín pátápátá ẹ máa jẹ breakfast ṣe sọ pé nu mi rùn èlò ni ó ń pa nísìn ẹ ò bọ́ ṣe maltreat ẹ ṣèbẹ́ sọ pé nu Kóìkì rùn ni gbogbo yín pátápátá ẹ máa jẹ breakfast látòkè délẹ̀ zoo country yẹn á deal pẹ̀lú gbogbo yín ṣé mo pity yín no mo pity anybody nínú yín ọmọ àlè ní gbogbo yín. Zazu alibidu ẹni ṣoríire ẹni ṣoríire ìyá yín ṣoríire ẹni ṣoríire. Zazu alibidu. Ṣẹ́rí pé reason tí ọmọ yẹn gbá ọlọ́pàá létí èyí tẹ̀ ń sọ pé Kóìkì ó lè má agree pẹ̀lú àwa kò ń ṣe gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ló máa agree pẹ̀lú nǹkan tí mò ń ṣe ẹ ní láti agree ẹ bá bu wa títí dọ̀la èmi ò gbé nínú zoo tí ọlọ́pàá ò ní gbá mi létí ẹ wo eléṣẹ́ ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ní o Ṣòwòrán ló post ẹ o kí ló lè kí ni yẹn lè ṣe ẹ ti gbọ̀kadà lọ́wọ́ ẹ tún wá lagi mọ́ lórí ẹ wòran a lọ treat ara ẹ nísìn. Everybody go chop breakfast ìgbà tẹ́ máa jẹ ló yàtọ̀ kọ́lọ́pàá tó lè disrespect mi báyìí ní London á jẹ́ pé mi náà ti disrespect ọlọ́pàá yẹn nìyẹn ayẹyẹ mẹ́rin bọ̀lápò ni ẹjọ́ switch sí STARR Radio ọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n ní Anthony Blinken ó ti kọ́ọ̀lù Tinubu the secretary Blinken call with the Nigerian president-elect tí wọ́n ti tẹ̀ ló ń tẹ̀ nìyẹn ẹrù kẹ́ máa gba Yorùbá nation tí kò ní sí wàhálà ọlọ́run kẹrin a máa bá diplomacy lọ. Wọ́n níyàn mẹ́rin lọ pa lánàá ní Anambra State sọ̀rọ̀ pọ̀ tàbí sọ sómogbote wọnú Star Radio àdé ń pé láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ so tàbá ṣe kàn àpadà wá so sẹ́yìn tẹ́ wà lórí mixer àṣẹ ti wọlé mo kí gbogbo yín so ẹ jẹ́ n yọ kámẹ́rà mi kúrò ní láti lọ change aṣọ mi tí wọ́n yẹ pé náà ni máa wọ̀ náà ni kò sáṣọ táwọn lè fi ṣe Star Radio kápọ̀ look presentable fún gbogbo àgbáyé náà ni àwọn lọ gbé nǹkan kan lọ àwọn lọ jacket kan lórí eléyìí ẹni torí ilé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Alan Kode animal làwọn tó wà nínú uniform but èmi ni wọ́n ń bú àti Ìgbòho àti bàbá Akíntóyè ẹ̀ ń dúró de àwọn tó máa ṣàlàyé fún yín ẹ̀ ń dúró de Bob B Délé Mọ̀mọ́dù tó wà London àbí àwọn Dayọ̀ Lómù àbí àwọn pásítọ̀ yín pásítọ̀ kí ni bàbá tó wà ní rìdíìmì àti àwọn KICC àti gbogbo wọn àwọn ilẹ̀ ń dúró de Ṣímólú àti wọn ẹ jẹ́ mo yóò yà ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nígbà ẹja gbé wá báyìí járe àgbọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́yìn láti switch gbogbo everything ṣe ń gbé wá báyìí. Ẹ máa jẹ́ káwọn tó wà Nàìjíríà máa sọ fún yín pé àwọn tó wà nílùú òyìnbó ẹ má gbọ́ sí Kóìkì lẹ́nu ẹ mọ̀ pé Kóìkì owó Yorùbá nation ló ń wá at least èmi bẹ́tà rọ fún yín ẹ̀yin ò rówó náà lọ́hùn ẹ tún ní freedom ayé yín báyìí nísìn wọ́n ti hang ẹ̀ ni ayé gbogbo yín pátá ó wà ní hanging mo kí mọ́mí wà Fọláṣadé wọ́n ti bá fi sáré lọ sókè mo ti fi play video yẹn mọ́ òkè ó rà pé tìkan tó wà tí ṣòwò rẹ̀ tí ó ṣe nígbà kan ó post ẹ̀ ìyẹn nígbà tó ń ṣe campaign báwọn ọlọ́pàá ṣe máa ń ná ìtàn disrespect yín ẹja ẹwọ eléyìí náà mò ń bọ̀ ẹja yọ ọdọ ẹ. Gbogbo ilẹ̀ máa jẹ breakfast. Gbogbo olúkàlùkù máa jẹ lórí ọ̀pọ̀ ìṣẹ́yìn. Tóbi tó jẹ breakfast tó máa jẹ ẹgbẹ́ tó fọ́ Nàìjíríà ní ìdílé ọjà ìyá.
So, on the yes, my name is Soborel. I'm a presidential candidate in this 2019. I saw that Nigerians have been made to lie. I want to find out.
Yes, you don't drive me away from home.
That place is called.
That is
Now, it's not the joke. That's the military, right?
and this is just watching the way charging behind these people. Even when they blew the siren, all of them, these old men, all of them is selling the area. They are going now, we are going to shoot the big man. Okay?
Big man.
That is, yeah, looking for us. Now, all of them were going charging behind. Because when you look at them, they look at them.
I understand that it is okay.
So when we ask them to open so that let's go back to the
They said the boat cannot open. So how come the boat is open now?
I completely understand. You are military officers. You are going to pick somebody and you want this guy is coming.
Right now,
Please, we have a conversation and you just sit down. Also,
What is all of them hate you àwọn olóṣù ẹ̀yin tèmi kò má bínú àmì láti kúrò lórí eléyìí bọ́ sórí Star Radio 100 so mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé a kú bójú ọjọ́ ṣe rí ní different part of the world àbáwà èmi àbúrò yín náà ni tó ń pè ní Koiki Media bí àwọn ọmọ tó ń pe platform yìí Koiki Media là ń pè bí tó bá ń wá platform tó ti ń ṣe fracas àbí tó bá ń wá àṣírí lọ sọ́dọ̀ àwọn tí wọ́n máa ń ṣàṣírí àwọn òun ṣàṣírí ní bíbá intellectual platform ní bíbá àti kọ́ra wa ní ẹ̀kọ́ tó dáa so let's join the studio they are waiting for me they release the audio and bíbá all right so we're good to go.
okay, so how
if you do it, if you have faith, yes, you will come through for you. So let's depend on God, as we say all the time. Yeah. It is STARR Radio UK. It's your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bring your time now. 12 minutes past the top of the hour, and that's 4 minutes past 11. And it's a Wednesday, and you know we are always short of time when it comes to Wednesday. But we have Mr. Lightning Crikey in the house, all ready to fire on all cylinders. So let me say, good morning, Yummy.
Well, a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the world, and welcome to the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Like you said, it is the Wednesday. There's a lot packed up today. If we can't complete it, please do join us later on tonight on the Niger Voices on the STARR Radio UK network at exactly 1800 hours, which a lot of people get confused. It's just mean that it is just 6 p.m. Make sure you do so. But for now, we will do as much justice to the conversation and the news headline coming out of Nigeria. And I can say in the last less than 24 hours, it's not up to 24 hours yet, Nigeria is already again in the news around the world, but for the wrong reason.
Yeah. How are you doing, sir?
Well, I think I woke up on the bedside. That is very good. So, looking forward to Wednesday is something that I'm always excited because this is where we connect with around the globe. Last week we had somebody saying that I'm still awake, listening to you in Japan. That shows that the world is so connected. And when you compare that to about 40 years ago, it shows that while I was telling my younger daughter, today, this morning on their way to school, I was reading the book and we were reviewing the book, talking about the space. And I asked her if she liked the space. She said no. And I said, maybe when they come back home, I should turn off the internet. Then you will understand why it is important that we keep that exploration into the space.
Well, as some people are doing much in exploration into the space, others are not. But that's our story that is happening this morning. That happened, I think, yesterday. 4 people killed in an attack on two diplomatic convoy. However, they're saying that the people in the vehicle were not American, so they might be Nigerians who went for the consulate, and that was what has happened there. Who were the perpetrators and what happened? Yeah.
Well, from a lot of information, when the news broke, again, news tends to be a little bit delayed in Nigeria. These, from what we were told, happened just around 3:30 p.m. local time. But the news did not get to us here in UK until almost coming up to 8 p.m. Was the news delayed for a reason, or was it just a cover-up? We don't know yet. But what we can say is that those that were affected, according to the U.S. White House, as yesterday I've said that there is no U.S. citizen, but these are staff that are working for the U.S. government in Nigeria. What is the reason for that trip? Why was the reason? These are still development as we're still getting them, out of the country. And like I said, the news that we have is that there is 4 people that have been killed, and we have been focusing on the 4, but there's another 3 individuals that were kidnapped. One is a driver, and again 2 are consulate staff. When we talk about consulate, consulate is all over the world. We have the Nigerian High Commission here in London, and if you do not understand, imagine we have God forbid 4 people being killed within the Nigerian High Commission here in UK. That would be a bad image for the British government, and that is why security in UK is a top notch. But what were they doing? From what we gathered so far, 4 staff members of the United States Embassy in Nigeria have been shot dead. This actually happened at Ogbaru local government area of Anambra State in the southeast part of Nigeria, following an attack on their vehicle. Again, remember that when the convoy is moving like such, they would have security escort. Was this a target? Was this something that somebody gave them information on? Those traveling, because when they travel like that, they're not going to be exposing themselves, say, we are the U.S. Embassy consulate staff and this is our vehicle. Not even those that we have traveled with. People are very, very skeptical when you travel with a siren and a convoy because nobody knows who is inside. But when an attack like this happened, the world has now found out that 4 people murdered in Nigeria, 3 has been kidnapped. What do we know from the police command? DSP Tochukwu Ikanga said there is now a joint security force have embarked on a rescue and recovery operation in Obaru local government area following an attack at the convoy of the state of the United States. I'm going to come back again to you in the studio, but like I said, it is news that have now gone around the world for the negativity part of Nigeria again. And this is what we've been saying continuously. This is what Professor Banja Akintoye have said. This is what the Biafra are saying. This is what Professor Wole Soyinka said. And let's remember, the late Dr. Malafia told us that there are still elements of those within the government funding the terrorism in Nigeria. Nobody has made any video or any kind of a statement to say that they are behind it. But we might probably find out, because maybe there might be a ransom demand for the three that have been attacked, that have been kidnapped. But this is still something that is still going on, and I can confirm President Muhammadu Buhari is arriving back in Nigeria yesterday with this very, very sad news on Nigeria again.
Well, a bad image there, And the question I was going to pose, you answered it already. Who has anybody claimed responsibility for what has happened? We're not sure, but we know that they're going to come out with a ransom. And once they do that, we know who. As to whether it's the Fulanis, whoever, whatever they are, whatever, they're not supposed to be anything like that. Killing people? No, that is so. Adams Breaker says, good morning to you all. The Labour Party is giving us some update from the tribunal. So the Labour Party are already fighting themselves in the court this morning. Niger, cares. Okay? And Bishop Adesina says, what will happen is not new. What happened is not new until Nigeria breaks. Boko Haram exploded United Nations headquarters in Abuja, and American citizens were killed, and nothing happened. So he's saying that virtually nothing is going on. He goes over and says, since they are reluctant, fast track the breaking up of Nigeria, everybody will eat breakfast. That is a big saying there. So thank you very much. But what has the U.S. consulate said so far?
Well, I've been monitoring quietly, what the U.S. Is saying, but it seems that another news have actually overshadowed that as well. In as much as this is still ongoing development, like I said, this is still less than 12 hours ago. It's not even up to 24 hours yet. So we continue to monitor that. But the U.S., rather than making any reference to that, because we have to go from the U.S. mission in Nigeria, they've actually posted, Secretary Blinken spoke with the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday to emphasize the continual commitment to further strengthening the U.S.-Nigeria relation with the incoming administration. So, but we do know that during the press conference, we know that Joe Biden is out of the country. He's returning back as well to U.S. because of the debt of the debt rising in America, which is already going on as well. So it's cutting his journey short. But again, during the press report in White House, one of the reporters there did ask the question, and the individual that was doing the press briefing actually said this is still an ongoing development. Maybe the U.S. Embassy is still trying to get as many facts, but probably before the end of today or before we come back on Niger Voices, we might have some kind of more information coming out. Who are these individuals? From what the U.S. have said so far, they are not the U.S. citizen, but they are U.S. STARR working with the consulate, and they were actually going to Anambra State, from what we are told, for what we can call, a kind of, movement that's got to do with activities that embassy does in Nigeria. But also, not only they were killed, they were also bombed. That again shows that this is something very, very sad. As the assassinate and the murderers citing the responding joint security force, they adopted two police operatives, and the driver of the second car took to their heels. But no U.S. citizen, like I said. The command, while reacting to the situation, regret that the convoy of such or any related will enter the state without any recourse to police in the area or security agency. So what they're actually saying that in as much as we have embassies moving different part of Nigeria, but they were not informed, even though they had escort, So the state is now saying that they were not even informed ahead that such an important dignitary is coming into the state. Maybe they were moving out of the state, but from what we are told, they were actually coming into the state. For one reason, we don't know full details yet. But this, again, is the ongoing development in Nigeria. Star Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio at exactly 14 minutes past 11.
Well, it's a sad story there because if they were shot and then maybe because people want money or something, they shot them and then they just died, somebody would say, okay, it's not good. But to burn them, a step back, burning them means that maybe it was one plan, they knew that individuals were going to pass by and then they went on to that back.
Well, that has been, as a lot of Nigerians are waking up, because like I said, news is always delayed in Nigeria. So many reaction is coming out of this as we speak right now. In as much as, Peter Obi was in London, I saw him, but he flew back to Nigeria because there's an appeal election tribunal that is going on. So there's a mixed match of things happening. But the question is, was this a target? And was this, an intelligent given that particular vehicle had, maybe a U.S. citizen in there, but unfortunately there were no U.S. citizens, but they are those working on behalf of the U.S. government. And the reaction again is, while in the Southeast, we know already that the Southeast part of the country is extremely tense with the military, movement in there. We've seen a lot of movement of the terrorism happening across Nigeria. Even up to yesterday, remember we talked about so many other killings as well. But the question is, why Anambra State? Why at this particular time? Is 17th of May today. By the 29th, we're meant to be having an inauguration of a new president. So everything is just, some kind of a question at the moment. But we still have to wait for further details from the Nigeria Inspector General of Police up to the U.S. consulate. But like I said, there's no information on the U.S. consulate in mission in Nigeria as we speak right now.
Okay, information coming through said that the U.S. State Department has said that it's, for its part, assured the U.S. diplomatic staff in Nigeria was at work with the Nigerian security services to conduct investigations. So they are trying to find exactly what has happened before they make a statement. The safety of our personnel is always paramount, and we take extreme precautions when arranging travel in the field, the State Department spokesperson said. All right then. Bishop Adesina says, my brother, Nigeria has been in Cold War since, but many were living in denial. Okay? So reality is, let's say that reality has set in. So now let's open our eyes. Somebody will say, shine your eyes. My listeners, to Star Radio UK, Mr. Olayinuka again, and not London Studios. I'm actually here in the South Studios, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. The president is back. Now, what has he said? How is his team? Has it been fixed?
Well, Buhari stayed back in London after the coronation of the King Charles III in, just about, a week ago right now. And the reason for that is, he had to deal with a toothache that has to be done here in London. Not too sure why this was not done in Nigeria. But again, as we do know, the president have been using London for his medical trip. But the Nigerian leader, returned back late evening yesterday. So he's going to be getting into the country with this news of the, staff killed from the, by the U.S., consulate in Anambra State. But again, the Nigerian leader who returned Abuja yesterday extended his stay in London after the coronation by another week. Femi Adesina, the presidential spokesman, in a statement told us that, because of the dentists have advised Buhari to stay back. That is the reason why he's staying back. While in London, Buhari also participated here with the Commonwealth Leaders Summit, where he again expressed satisfaction with the conduct of the 2023 general election. Not too sure whether Peter Obi and Atiku will be pleased with such, but that it will be done by the election tribunal. But what we can say is that there is no information yet from the media of the president on this latest killing, but we'll be monitoring, the network to see if anything comes up before 6 p.m. Local time when we're going to be coming on the Niger Voices. Buhari was welcomed by his chief of staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Musa Bello, and all the security chiefs, as well as other government officials. So he's back while we wait for Tinubu to return back as well from his own medical treatment in Paris.
Okay, listen to Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 19 minutes past the top of the hour. And as an icebreaker did put across earlier on, we have apologies. The tribunal, the election tribunal, where it's all unfolding. The Labour Party acting chairman, Lamidi Apapa, the Director General of Peter Obi's Presidential Campaign Council, Akin Osun Tukun, class at the appeals court on Wednesday. Apapa and Osun Tukun were seen in viral video arguing over a seat at the Presidential Election Petition Court sitting in Abuja. The Labour Party has been impressed in the leadership council with Apapa getting a court ruling last week as acting chairman pending determination of the party's leadership loyalty by the Federal High Court. Do you think that is the end of the Labour Party? Because if just coming to the court and there is one seat, maybe this one say, I'm the chairman, I want to sit here. They say, no, this one has come already, let them sit here. And then, that has gone viral. That means that they are not even serious about whatever they are doing. What do you think?
Well, as many of the obedient believe that the Apapa saga is got to do with the APC, using him, to destabilize, the mission of the Labour Party. You're quite right. This morning, as the court, procession was going to take place in Abuja, there was some kind of not fighting, but a bit of movement there. The fraction national chairman of the Labour Party, Lamidi Apapa, confronted the Director General of Peter Obi's Presidential Campaign Council, Akin Osotokun. Imagine you are the chairman of the party and you are still working against the party. Definitely, there's a kind of hidden agenda there. And as we do know, our Nigerians, politicians are all the same. They work, hand in hand, through kickback and also trouble began today after the court officials opened the courtroom to the lawyers and the litigant for the day's proceeding. Mr. Osuntokun and the other party stewards are taking their seat in the gallery in the court when Apapa and his colleagues accosted the former, demanding that they vacate the seat. I don't know what it means by they should vacate the seat. Mr. Apapa said he was the legitimate leader of the Labour Party who should take the seat, but Mr. Osuntokun would not relinquish his seat, insisting that Mr. Apapa had no right to take the seat. It took the intervention of Josephine, the secretary of the Presidential Election Petition Court, to calm down the tense situation between Ms. Apapa and Osuntokun. Remember that again, Julius Aburo, that was suspended as the national chairman of the Labour Party, was caught in the web of leadership dispute with Apapa, who was earlier suspended by the party. So it seems that Labour Party, as they are trying to find out, and push this election petition out there, the internal problem is still ongoing as we speak as well.
Well, listeners, it is STARR Radio. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, interestingly, Bola Tinubu also has made a statement, and he said that he wants to hit the ground running. And in quest for that to happen, he said, I promise to hit the ground running, unify Nigeria, say Tinubu. But we look at the groups, we look at the Yoruba group, we look at the IPOP, we look at the various political parties and everything that seems to be going on. Do you think he can hit the ground running? And has he actually made any statement pertaining to the Yoruba where he hails from as well? Any exchanges there at all?
Well, Tinubu, can say as much as what he wants to say. Buhari said so much in 2015, and for 8 months, Buhari was far away here in London, receiving medical treatment. Already, Tinubu is doing the same medical treatment. The only difference is he's not yet fully in charge, which is going to be on the 29th, but he's still the president-elect, as we know. Yes, he has actually said a lot, he was going to hit the ground growing, quickly. But one thing is, as the US is now maybe finally accepting that Nigerians should wait for another 4 years, and allow Tinubu to focus on the real issues on the table. The Nigerian economy is very sad, insecurity, we just saw, what has happened in Anambra State, and there are so many other situations on the ground. But like we were saying earlier in the broadcast, the Secretary Blinken has now made a phone call with the Nigerian president-elect Tinubu. I'm sure his team will be excited. They've been waiting for this kind of call for a very long time. Now this call has happened, means that maybe America is just now accepting that Bola Tinubu should be allowed and the other political parties should wait for another 4 years, and allow him to focus. The Secretary of the State, Anthony J. Blinken, spoke this morning with the Nigerian President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu to emphasize his continued commitment to further strengthening the U.S.-Nigerian relation that has been going on for a very long time with the incoming administration. So that definitely means that they've accepted that is the incoming administration, regardless of what is going to be the outcome of the election petition that is going on. The secretary noted that the U.S.-Nigerian partnership is built on the shared interest, strong people-to-people ties, and those are links should continue to strengthen under the president-elect. Remember that just yesterday as well, the same person, Anthony Blinken, was telling us that there is now visa restriction for as many Nigerians that made the election to be a little bit violent. And that means that even though we don't have their names, some have mentioned that, names were been given in the past for America to other countries. Why omitting that in Nigeria? Now we do not know who is on that list. And the list that has been circulating, like I say, is not authenticated from the U.S. State Department.
Okay, listen, it is STARR Radio, okay? 11:25 the time. It's a Wednesday edition of the morning show. So we would like so you may bring you the rest of this stories. Over to you.
Lawyers petition the United Nations Commission as Nigerian army detains over 80 soldiers in a secret cell for the last 2 years. Yesterday, we were talking about, the martial court case that is going on and where, 75% of, discount, like a jamboree, where Buratai was allowed to make use of that to so many VIPs, and the property that is meant to be for Nigerians end up into the VIPs, possession. Why do we have 80 soldiers in a secret cell for 2 years without trial? It's just almost the same like an average Nigerian that are kept. During the EndSARS of 2020, as at last year, more Nigerians are still being released, even in Oyo State, where we have, the southwest of Nigeria. A coalition of the human rights lawyers has now filed a petition at the United Nations Human Rights Commission against President Muhammadu Buhari and a former chief of army staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, the now ambassador in Benin Republic, and also a Lance Corporal Idakpiti Martins and 86 other Nigerian soldiers at the 8th Division. They've been kept there, illegally, for the last 2 years. The petition that was obtained, by one of the media, STARR reporter, told the UNHRC that is based in Geneva in Switzerland that the 87 soldiers had been held for over 2 years in unimaginable, deplorable condition at a place not fit for human habitation. According to the petition, some of the affected soldiers have lost their sight as a result of the incarceration, while some have developed howl and whooping cough. The petition was dated in April 2023, which was signed by Austin Okeke, the national lawyer for the coalition for Peter Obi, and obtained by as well STARR reporter, claimed that the soldiers were detained not because they committed offense, but were detained to make money. The petitioners noted that the 87 detainees in Sokoto are all entitled to 10,000 naira each day. That is about 300,000. And I remember I saw Lai Mohammed telling us that they've spent about 1 million naira each on most of the prisoners in Nigeria. So definitely, the longer they keep them there, that's about 3.6 million per year, and that means that that's about almost 8 million or thereabout for each individual. So somebody is really making money out of that. Because of the time constraint, we're going to take one more and end straight to the social media. Again, as we know, the court has granted bail to the musician Seun Kuti, ordered Nigerian police to complete investigation in 2 days. They wanted to keep him there, for more than 2 days. They wanted to keep him for over 21 days. And it seems that, he has now been used as a scapegoat, for, disrespecting the police in a broad daylight, where the video has made huge amount on the social media, as we speak. So once again, we come back. It is still STARR Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. And some of what is trending this morning, we're going to go straight to, Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister, government in exile of the Republic of Biafra. There is a video that I saw on Omoyele Showore. We can't show the video because it's got a bit of atrocity committed again by uniformed men. Two of them, when I mean two of them, we have the Nigerian army and the Nigerian police. We don't know what has happened, but this Okada individual, the Okada has been removed from him. They've actually hit him as well with a pole where blood is gushing out. And Simon Ekpa is saying now, this is how Nigerian police and other security are molesting, killing poor citizens, extorting money from them. Have you seen that? He didn't slap the criminal in police uniform. You will not hear the Islamic IGP ordering the arrest and the video them on the handcuff as they did to Shehu Kuti, which is now in opposition. So the Okada was removed, but again they flew with their own keke napep that they came with, and this young man is now bleeding persistently from the forehead, trying to get his Okada. While he was trying to do that, they hit a pole on him, and that made what happened as we speak. Simon Ekpa also went on to say, again, while we set Nnamdi Kanu free, the appeal court judge, I restated an injunction I expressed in the judgment in the case of Nnamdi Kanu versus the federal government of Nigeria appeal that was delivered on the 13th of October, in which I was privileged to write to the leading judgment. The court must never shy away from calling the executive to order when they resort to act of executive lawlessness. The duty of the court is to maintain a balance between ensuring that the law and order is obeyed and the protection of individuals from oppressive actions are also executed. Like I said, this government will be remembered for so many wrong reasons, especially for the abuse of the judiciary, where an average man cannot rely on the judiciary today. Bola Tinubu is trending at about 21,000 this morning, and I'm sure the excitement from his team, that the call has actually come true from the United States of America. That is also one of what is trending on all the news in Nigeria. And let's take a look at what Omoluabi Yoruba group said. Bola Tinubu is not the best Yoruba can offer for presidency. He is on his own personal ambition and not for the Yoruba race. He's only using some set of Yoruba popularly known as Omoale, Oko Atile. But we, Omoluabi, we shall stop them. So that is coming there. Also, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Media has also released that same statement with that telephone call that is coming through. So you can tell that the excitement is coming as well for the team Bola Tinubu as well. So let's now go straight to what is more trending as well. At exactly 11:32, we have just about a few more minutes. Appeal court is trending. Lamidi Akpakpa is trending. But Peter Obi seems to be picking most of the trend this morning. Like I said, it was in London that I saw the video, but it seems that he flew back to Nigeria because of this court election petition tribunal. So Peter Obi is trending at about 63,000 this morning, which is a huge number. And from Preach Law, even the military support Peter Obi. His encounter with INEC chairman, Mr. Peter Obi, Soludo, the U.S. Embassy, Hilda. So these are some of the things that is trending. Again, the vice president of the Labour Party is also put out a comment. I want to bring that in, and then we can close it. Later on in the evening, we will have enough conversation, surrounding the election and everything as well. So, Senator Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, for those Agbadorians, I don't know what that means, who says Peter Obi was deported and can't go to UK. This is Peter Obi branching by Dele Momodu London home to celebrate his birthday. So you can tell that, remember that Peter Obi had a bit of issue here on his way to London during the Easter break, but it seems that maybe some thought he cannot make it to London, but he's finally in London, and I'm sure he's right back in Nigeria, because Nigeria to London is just 6 hours. That's how far we can go this morning, and I'm going to return back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie, and where we close it for now.
Well, listeners, that has been one of a kind there when it comes to the hard dates. We hope that the spirit agencies are working assiduously to make whatever that has happened to these people who were killed and those who have been abducted will all be resolved. time we come to the voices this evening. By your means, before you go.
Well, tonight, is it a conspiracy or is it just an attack? Because we've seen a lot of diplomat moving around Nigeria, but why now that a diplomat vehicle was attacked, and specifically in the southeast of Nigeria? That will be the conversation later on tonight. I'll say the diplomatic staff working in Nigeria at this particular time. That will be the conversation at exactly 1800 hours later on this evening on the Star Radio UK Niger Voices. Bye for now.
All right then, listeners, that has been Mr. Langley for bringing you updates from Nigeria, from our London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios.
And that's how far we're gonna go. So let's see if we can do a little bit more before I start. Wednesday is always a long day, but I can give room for maybe another an hour. The only problem is really think of similar Roy. So my stomach is already telling me to go and find something to eat. So let's bring some of you here. Our people, sorry, those of you I have to keep moving you every now and then because Instagram doesn't have this system that allows me to just easily do as I do it on the other Facebook and YouTube. Even Twitter gone save. I don't know what's wrong with Twitter now. They've removed the RTM code as well. So where are we? We actually watched this earlier on. Let's just play a little bit out of it again. So we can tell that Nigeria and Nigerians, Buhari is back to Nigeria, say baba. Àwọn Agbadorians are APC. Okay, ẹ ṣe gan káwọ̀ dápọ̀ kan mọ̀. So àwọn Agbadorians ní okay torí Tinubu máa ń sọ pé eat àgbàdo. I'm sure there's, we're going to talk about this. What does it mean now that the call came through from the United States of America to Tinubu's team or Tinubu presidency? Kí ni ẹ̀rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn? Mo kí gbogbo ọlẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé a kú bójú ọjọ́ ṣe rí níbikíbi tí ẹ ti ń gbọ́ mi tí ẹ ti ń wò wá. Orúkọ mi ni Ọláyọmí Kóìkì tí mo wá mọ̀ sí Kóìkì Media. Secretary Blinken called with Nigerian President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Kí lẹ rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn? Kingsley, good morning, my brother. How you doing? So, what is our reaction? There are a few things, I love the diplomacy side of things. And I also enjoy, watching, especially Professor, that Professor Lindsay or whatever his name is. So let me see if I can. There was something I was watching on some of his video. You can tell is this one I watched already. The United States will it lose its specific power? I'm going to talk about that. Let's talk about this one. Post-colonial problem. Mokiyawa Iyabo Olubunmi Oluwole, Sunday Adebanjo, shout out to all our Koiki Media team that are working behind the scene. Ekabo Bishop Adesina. Mo fẹ́ ká sáré review what do we know by post-colonial and what do we understand by that? No, 1 minute, my professor. Yeah, Professor James. I should be able to remember his name now. I'll come up with Professor James. Tàbá sọ̀rọ̀ nípa post-colonial. What do we understand by that? Post-colonial means post-colonialism. Tàbá sọ pé
post-colonialism.
Tàbá ní
post-colonialism.
Tàbá ń sọ pé
post-colonialism.
Kí ló mean? What do we understand by that word? Post-colonialism. Post-colonialism, according to the English Oxford Dictionary or whatever it is on Google, the political or cultural condition of a former colony Everybody knows that Nigeria and UK has a long history, a very, very long one. And it is still working today after 100 and, how many years now? Is it 108 years? Between Nigeria 1914 and Tabalori line. Let's see. So 2023 minus 1914. So yeah, 109 years ago. Let me put this to those of us that always argue that, you want to rescue Nigeria because, Nigeria needs to be rescued. It's just that it's got problems. Before 109 years ago, there was nothing called Nigeria. But some things happen. Ẹ má bínú pé mò ń sọ òyìnbó nínú broadcast yìí díẹ̀. Ẹ má ṣe ìbínú sí mi. Because I just want to carry as many people along this morning. And some of those things that happened before these, during the colonial time, the power of the British was very, very, strong. And all these men that have died now, from Babawolowo, Azikiwe, Saldana, and the rest of them, and those Oyinbo people there. This was just when they were preparing us for what we now call Nigeria independent. Because even after the 1914 amalgamation, it was still under the colony. So we didn't have independence. We didn't have self-govern. So everything, good morning, Mr. Gbenga, everything that was happening within Nigeria as at 1914 up to the 1960 was still something that was being the project Nigeria by the British. So by year in Timo Shala Ifunyi, Nigeria ṣe pé 109 years old. Ìwọ náà kọ playback mind ẹ sẹ́yìn díẹ̀ because I'm sure pé tá a bá tẹ̀ mọ̀ kankan èmi rí ìyá tí ó gbà ní Olúmọ̀rọ̀ ìyá yẹn dẹ̀ ti pé 135 years. So ibo ni ìyá yẹn la máa fi ìyá yẹn sí? Date of birth wo ni ìyá yẹn ń lò? I mean ṣé date of birth Nàìjíríà ni nítorí pé ìyá yẹn ju Nàìjíríà lọ? Smile ṣe mo kí yín. Mo pé understand nǹkan tí mo sọ. There was a woman mo rántí orúkọ wọn mọ́ but tí bá wo bí a mo lè rí picture mi àti wọn Olúmọ rock Ọláyọmí Koiki. That was one of my visit pẹ̀lú ìyá yẹn. I think she died now. Èmi lélẹ̀. You can see me there lábẹ́ àwa ọmọ Olúmọ. This was 2019. Àìtẹ̀tí kódà kò tí ì sẹ́ni tó gbọ́rùn Yorùbá nation ká lè máa sọ pé a gbọ́dọ̀ máa dúpẹ́ fún bàbá Akíntóyè because tèmi bá gbọ́ Yorùbá nation dáadáa nígbà tèmi lọ́lé campaign tí màmá bá lọ́lé nìyẹn. That's my picture there. Google ń parọ́. That was March because election time ni mo lọ́lé 7th of March kódà iPhone mi sọ pé temperature Nigeria was 32 degrees. So when people now come and tell me, owó Yorùbá nation, ṣé owó Yorùbá nation náà mo fi lọ́lé nígbà yẹn? Àbí mo fresh nígbà tí mo lọ́lé, but again, and this was me in Abuja. Picture tẹ̀ ń wò yìí, èmi lélẹ̀ pẹ̀lú kùn bẹ̀m̀bẹ̀ mi yẹn. Abuja lélẹ̀. But again, that is another conversation. So tí mo kàn fẹ́, but mo rántí orúkọ ìyá yẹn. Wọ́n yẹ kí mo rántí orúkọ wọn ni màá type ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Á lè gbé jáde, but mo rántí orúkọ wọn. But I'm sure some of you have seen that picture before. Now, kí là ń pè ní post-colonialism? Kí là ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀? Okay, our back end team, fún mi ní mo bá ní sọ̀rọ̀. Okay, Adùnní Olóríṣà. Okay. But ṣé o máa wá gbé jáde pẹ̀lú orúkọ mi bẹ́ẹ̀ because ó rà pé ó tún lórúkọ kan tí ìyá yẹn ń jẹ́ Ọláyọmí mo kí gbogbo ọlẹ́ǹkan sí Àdùnní olóríṣà Àdùnní olóríṣà ilé tún yàtọ̀ ilé yàtọ̀ òyìnbó mi lè lélẹ̀ lọ́gbé wáyé Àdùnní olóríṣà mi ti bá o ìyá tí mo bá ya picture kọ̀ lélẹ̀ yìí mo kí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́wọ́ this is a different person entirely ilé kan mo bá ya picture so I don't know ilé kan mo bá ya picture so anyway let's just move on. I'm sure pé image yẹn tí wọ́n wà lórí social media anyway so now ìgbà tí mo gbọ́ fídíò Professor James láàárọ̀ mo ṣe gbọ́ ilé láàárọ̀ ni because he does his videos ilé was 4 days ago he's talking about a post-colonial problem ṣé a lè sọ pé àwa náà ní Nàìjíríà we are still going through the post-colonial problem because what it change Mr. Sampson ní post-colonialism our great-grandfather because problem tí Nàìjíríà ń face lénìí tí a fi ń tàhùn síra wa tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tó dàbí àtẹ́ pé wọ́n ń ṣe bíi ti understanding wọn ìtàn sọ mo sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé Nigeria is 109 years old but sórí àwọn artifact tó ń wò yìí is 700 years old yọ 700 kúrò nínú 100 kátẹ má fi 9 tó wà lórí ẹ̀ sí tí wọ́n pa ṣe ní 600 but problem tí ó fi ń difficult fún wa nísìn ni pé Anthony Blinken ó ti pe Tinubu nísìn pé president elect Koiki má tó máa sọ Yorùbá nation mọ́ Anthony Blinken ti kí Tinubu so àwọn sì fẹ́ continuity Nigeria because ó favour àwọn kò mí pé ó favour ẹ̀mí àbí ó favour àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò àbí gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀yà tájọ́ ń bẹ nínú Nàìjíríà but nísìn ó ń difficult fún èmi láti convince an average Nigerian jẹ́rí pé bó ṣe pè wá nísìn jẹ́rí pé irọ́ ni Anthony Blinken pè wá pé we are not Nigerian Moriembe Aziz we are kì í ṣe Nigerian but for the fact that independent wáyé ní 1960 tó bá jẹ́ pé independent yẹn ò tí ì wáyé it could have been a different scenario la máa discuss lẹ́nu tó bá jẹ́ pé Britain ló ṣì ń colonize wa tẹ́lẹ̀ pa ṣì ń jà pé a fẹ́ jáde bóyá ìjáde wa kò bá padà sí bá ṣe wà tẹ́lẹ̀ as kingdom tí Britain ò fi dá wa padà sí kingdom àwọn nìkan ló yé àníyàn la fi ń pè ní the 1914 amalgamation sórí ìwọ tó ń gbọ́ mi ní àbà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá nísìn ṣó mọ̀ níwọ̀n àtàbá pé we are Nigerian kò sí nǹkan kan tó ń jẹ́ Nigerian before 1914 irọ́ ló wà níbẹ̀ so gbogbo pé we are Nigerian yẹn ìyẹn dàbí ẹ̀tàn ẹ ṣáà fún ọ ní ẹ̀tàn ẹ má bínú kí ni màá ń là báyìí ó dàbí ẹ̀tàn tó fi tàn wá síwájú hey we are Nigerian hey okay o fẹ́ lọ America okay tá lọ gba Nigerian passport you are a Nigerian so wọ́n fún wa ní ẹ̀tàn yẹn wá di tí ó ti di gẹ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ ẹ mọ̀ pé máa ń pe kíní kan ní ṣé kíní kan tó máa ń múyàn lọ́rùn ṣé kíní kan ó máa ń múyàn lọ́rùn báyìí ìgbà míì ràn pé lọ́rùn báyìí ó lórúkọ kan táwa Yorùbá ta máa ń pè mọ́ rántí ẹ̀ gẹ̀dú àbí kankan something I can't remember anyway I'm sure pé you understand nǹkan tí mo sọ so tábà wá ní a fẹ́ kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà oh yes a ní right lóòótọ́ but right yẹn Amẹ́ríkà ò ní sọ fún wa pé a ní right but Amẹ́ríkà ò fẹ́ jẹ́ ká sọ di ìjà wọ́n ò dẹ̀ fẹ́ ká para wa but wọ́n ò dẹ̀ fẹ́ jẹ́ káwa Nigerians ká jẹ́ mọ́ Yorùbá wọ́n ò fẹ́ ká dé ọ̀dọ̀ tiwọn the same thing ní UK gẹ́gẹ́ ẹ ṣe gan ni gẹ́gẹ́ ẹ ṣe Mr. Lanre Lamina àti Mr. Sampson sórí èrè tí òun wò lẹ́yìn mi àwọn bàbá ńlá wa for 600 years ni wọ́n ṣe kínní bí ṣe ń bẹ sọ̀rọ̀ ní sọ wà ní London wọ́n ti arrested kínní tàn wò yìí but ó ń difficult now nítorí pé wọ́n sọ fún wa pé a ti padà sí democracy ní 1999 ìyẹn àwọn West sọ pé ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ti gba independent ẹ ti dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí a sovereign nation kí lẹ tún wá ẹ ṣe manage ara yín kẹ gbogbo problem tẹ bá ní láàrin ara yín ẹ try kẹ jókòó kẹ yanjú ẹ dìbò fún ẹni tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ a dẹ̀ ti dìbò fún Tinubu fáwọn tó dìbò torí pé àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá dìbò fún so àwọn tí wọ́n dìbò fún yẹn àwọn yẹn sọ fún wa pé a lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ ẹnu gbogbo yín ò kò mo gbọ́ tí ìyá kan tó ń sọ jágbajàgba sometimes tó máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n máa ń sọ bí àfẹ́ pé àwọn náà kì í ṣe ọmọ Yorùbá àbí tó máa ń sọ ẹlòmíràn máa sọ ṣe bí Yorùbá ní gbogbo wa but ẹni tó wà comfortable ní comfort zone ẹ̀ bóun ṣe máa sọ̀rọ̀ kódà ẹlòmíràn wà Nàìjíríà tó jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá tó wà comfortable kò dẹ̀ ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú politics but wọ́n á máa sọ̀rọ̀ bí ẹni tí làákàyè yẹn ó kù díẹ̀ káàtó mo gbọ́ tí ìyá yẹn tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ mo fi dárúkọ ìyá yẹn ẹ ti mọ àwọn ìyá àwọn ní fracas woman yẹn mo gbọ́ fídíò yẹn lánàá mo kàn wá pé kí ló ní fẹ́ sọ yìí wọ́n ti Ìgbòho pa wọ́n ti kí ni yẹn ní ṣe because Nigeria will work for everybody but understanding olúkálukú lórí pé a fẹ́ gba Yorùbá country a fẹ́ gba Yorùbá tá a bá fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation yes ó dáa kí gbogbo aká wà lójú kan náà kí ọmọ APC agree but ọmọ APC ò lè agree because America ṣe ń sọ fún pé you are a Nigerian ọmọ APC àti PDP wọ́n ò fẹ́ gbọ́ nítorí pé Anthony Blinken ti sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn so and nígbà tí Anthony Blinken máa sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn kò pè wá ní Yorùbá kò pè wá ní Igbo kò pè wá láwùsá ó pè wá ní tí wọ́n fún wa ní 1914 tí a fi pè ní amalgamation but nǹkan kan ṣì ń lọ tó ń dá wàhálà sí àwọn lọ́rùn tá à ń pè ní
post-colonialism.
so wá rí
post-colonialism.
òun ni bàbá ìfẹ́ fi sọ̀rọ̀ ẹja gbọ́ díẹ̀ níbẹ̀ I do not own the copyright màá dẹ̀ máa sọ̀rọ̀ láàrin méjì 14 minutes náà ni fídíò yẹn but a lè má lo gbogbo ẹ̀ tán.
1993, the French government launched a large-scale and by all accounts brutal crackdown on immigrants in its overseas department of Mayotte. While the events have received very little international coverage, it's caused an outcry.
mo fẹ́ kọ̀ fún yín ní a bit of heads up ẹ mọ̀ pé mi ti wo fídíò yẹn sórí bí wọ́n ṣe ń sọ pé France ìwọ máa fi ṣírò àwa Nàìjíríà tá à ń lọ sí Libya ṣó mọ̀ pé Nàìjíríà tó ń lọ sí Libya gangan kọ́ ni mission ẹ̀ ó sì fẹ́ dé Europe but bó ṣe máa dé Europe yẹn wọ́n fún ní visa post-colonialism wọ́n sọ fún wa pé Commonwealth we are Nigerians but a fẹ́ wá sí UK nísìn wàhálà ni a fẹ́ lọ America wàhálà ni o fẹ́ kódà o fẹ́ lọ sí South Africa tájọ jẹ́ Africa máa gbọ́ South Africa tájọ jẹ́ Africa wàá lọ gba visa bọ́ àwọn nísìn wọ́n fẹ́ blọ́ọ̀kì pé ká má lè wọlé mọ́ ìyẹn náà ṣe ń lọ́ọ̀kì gbogbo wa ẹni tó bá ti ráyè wọlé àdúpẹ́ fún ẹ torí ìwọ tó ti wọlé mo bẹ̀ pé kọ́lọ́njọ́ wọlé èmi náà náà tí mo bẹ̀ pé kọ́lọ́njẹ́ kọ́ lè wọ UK tó bá ti wọlé wọ̀ lọ anywhere àjọ máa jókòó pa sílùú yìí ni torí pé èyí ṣé wá rí ẹ má bínú pé mo kàn pé move away from there ó ní bàbá kan mo sọ pé bàbá kan wà tí mo fẹ́ fi wọ̀nyí lórí Twitter kọ́lọ́njẹ́ ẹnu ẹ̀ máa rí torí mo retweet kìíní ẹ̀ òun máa ń wà against ó dà kó lélẹ̀ wọ́n pe bọ̀bọ̀ ìṣòrí bọ̀bọ̀ yìí Paul Golding ó ń sọ pé ó ní big follower gan ó ní gbọ́ngàn tó sọ síbẹ̀ yẹn the reinstated verified account of the Britain first leader àwọn náà dàbí movement làwọn náà oh my God ṣe oríwọ̀ tó ní ká má gba Yorùbá country ṣorí èmi àti ẹ ìyàtọ̀ tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé abroad èmi wà sórí ìwọ tó wà nílé tó ń pè ní Nàìjíríà yẹn kò ní value system ẹ kò ní rárá torí pé tó bá ní value system ni ọlọ́pàá ò ní máa nà ẹ́ ò ní máa wà disrespected so wá rí bọ̀bọ̀ yìí ọmọ tó máa ń ṣe ó máa lọ mú gbogbo fídíò àti bí torí pé ọlọ́pàá mú torí pé ó ti arrest rí kí ni ìdí tọ́lọ́pàá ṣe arrest I have been targeted by terrorists relentless persecuted by police wọ́n tó ń pè ọlọ́pàá tí wọ́n pé terrorist ni yín ẹ̀ ń fún Kóìkì láyè ọmọ Nàìjíríà àmọ́ làákàyè tí ò sọ fún pé àwọn làwọn wá dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ ní ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa ta fi ń go through problem tá à ń go through nísìn sọrí pé ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo sọ ṣó make sense tó o bá make sense jẹ́ kí n mọ̀ tó o bá make sense ìwọ kò sọ pé Kóìkì gbogbo tó ń sọ yẹn kò get out tó tún fi wá gbowó lórí social media torí pé n tí wọ́n rí nìyẹn ibi tí làákàyè tiẹ̀ mọdé nìyẹn sórí àwọn náà ti ń fight fún pé a ti pọ̀ foreigner ti pọ̀ ní UK wọ́n fáwọn láyè gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ British òun claim British bó ti gbàgbé pé àwọn bàbá ẹ̀ ló dá wàhálà sáwà lọ́rùn. Oh my God. Ìyá mi gbé mi lékè ẹ̀yin náà mọ bọ̀bọ̀ ẹ̀ ṣe máa ẹ ti gbọ́ sórí ẹ̀ rí. Paul Golding ló ń jẹ́ a British nationalist. Sórí kò sí nǹkan tó ràn tá a bá ní we are Yorùbá nationalist. Yorùbá ni wá. Bàbá náà fáwọn ọmọ Yíbò lọ́dọ̀ wa àfẹ́ wọn nìyẹn. Ètèmi argument tèmi kan sọ ni pé àti máa sọ pé àfáwọn ọmọ Yíbò ó difficult nínú process tí a wà nínú Nàìjíríà. Àmọ́ tá a bá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ process yẹn díẹ̀. Now gbogbo yín ti ní ká má vote ṣé Gbádébọ̀ àbí kí ló ń jẹ́ ẹni kò ní sọmọ Yorùbá agree. Okay now Sanwó-Olú tó wà níbẹ̀ tó jọmọ Yorùbá nísìn ǹjẹ́ ẹni tí wọ́n ń nà lórí ọ̀kadà láàárọ̀ yìí bí aláàárọ̀ yìí níbi láàgbé àwọn ní fídíò yẹn even tó o bá ń ṣọmọ Yorùbá ǹjẹ́ ó lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ bó ṣe nà bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn mo kí ẹ Ọkọya Afọláyan. Now ẹ wo ohun tóun sọ ẹja gbọ́ fídíò ẹ̀ a máa rewind ẹ̀ díẹ̀. Mo fẹ́ jẹ́ kó kàn máa fi link yẹn sí post-colonialism because ẹ̀yin ń dí ọ̀nà mọ́ wa. Àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá fẹ́ wọ UK nísìn ẹ̀ jẹ́ ká wọlé mọ́. Àwọn tó fẹ́ wọlé ẹni wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ máa ṣiṣẹ́ healthcare tó bá ti dé ká wá máa nùgbẹ́ ká máa pọ̀gbẹ́ adúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run fáwọn tó ń ṣe torí ní owó yẹn náà lẹ fi ń tọ́jú àwa náà. Àmọ́ a lè fọ ìgbẹ́ yẹn náà ní Nàìjíríà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá but wọ́n make Nàìjíríà kó work because tó bá make Nàìjíríà kó work ni tó yẹ ká Anthony Blinken ti kí Tinubu. That shows that pé ẹ̀yin tá a ní ká lọ through diplomacy náà la máa lọ èmi láìkẹ̀ gan but Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kí ó tètè yé gbogbo wa pé Nàìjíríà tó ń pè wá yẹn Amẹ́ríkà ò rí tiwa rò lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ò rí tiwa rò lórí ti Biafra ẹja gbọ́ Paul Golding has been dragged to hell and backed by the police state. Ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tó sọ ó ní wọ́n drag òun to hell but òun ò rántí pé àwọn bàbá ẹ̀ ló dá wàhálà sí mi lọ́rùn tẹ́mi fi ń pariwo ní UK. Tí bá ní the opportunity pé inú Yorùbá country mo wà tí wọ́n ní àrẹ́sì tí hàn nípa mi máa kúrò ní UK fún wọn but a kúrò ní UK nísìn àjọ máa lò lú ìpani àjọ nílùú yìí ni wọ́n ti mọ̀ kankan. Torí ojú ẹ̀ pé pure British ló ń wò yẹn mo kí yín ìyá mi ológun jà. Wọ́n ní that is why they want refugee to go to Rwanda. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ rí pé ọlọ́pàá mu ṣe rí pé kò ṣe òun àtọlọ́pàá wọ́n mọra wọn. Òun wá ń sọ pé ọlọ́pàá tó yẹ kó protect òun kò protect òun gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ British pé wọ́n protect èmi against òun. Torí ìwọ tó wà lé tí mò ń torí ẹja tó ní kí n shut up kò lè yí ẹ nì kò lè yí ẹ ẹja wo bọ̀bọ̀ ìdí ẹ̀ sórí. Ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tọkọ síbẹ̀ Britain first leader charge over Bill Money leaflet. I don't pay. Down ní kinní kan ni. Fún later. So mo fẹ́ jẹ́ kẹ́ máa tẹ̀lé mi ká lọ mo kí mọ́mí wa Tóyìn Akínlóyè tí mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dárúkọ mo kí ọgbà yín aunties wa yín beautiful aunties wa. Now ẹ jẹ́ ká gbá síwájú díẹ̀ sí i. So tí wàá rí understanding pé àti ìjà fún ìran wa eléyìí náà jà fún ẹni o a lè blame ẹ o ó ní àti pọ̀ jù ó ní gbogbo akọ̀ wọlé ní ẹ̀rí oríṣiríṣi lórí page ẹ̀ mo follow page ẹ̀ back to back. Idris ní hypocrisy ní àwọn British àṣẹmẹ́yẹ bọ̀ lápò níṣẹ́. ṣẹ̀rí gbóhùn àtọlọ́pàá ẹ̀rí Bromley police station. Ẹgbẹ́ àwọn tó kọ sí báyìí Britain first boss Paul Golding convicted in Northern Ireland for a racist flyer upheld. So wọ́n ti mọ̀ ní UK but in tóun ń jà fún ni pé British nationalists come first before anybody. Oh my God. Only Paul Golding has been arrested nearly 20 times by the corrupt police. So the báyọ̀ náà ṣe ń sọ pé corrupt Fúlàní tó wà níbẹ̀ òun náà sọ pé corrupt police. Ọmọ British ni o sórí ìwọ tó ń bú wa ò lè nílàákàyè torí pé o ò rí foresight tèmi ń wò ìwọ ń wo foresight àwọn àǹtí ẹ tó ń sọ fún mi pé Nàìjíríà máa da ìrọlọpàá. I'm just gonna move forward because I need láti gbogbo fídíò yẹn kápọ̀ ṣòtú ní nígbà nísìn Britain first leader Paul Golding is charged over distribution of anti-immigration leaflet. Ó lọ ń distribute ìyẹn ní 2018 ọ̀rọ̀ ó ti ń bá bọ̀ tó ń ṣe lẹ́ni o. This is why we are saying that ṣé láwọn generation àwọn ọmọ tàbí tá a bá yanjú tó wà nílẹ̀ àwọn ọmọ àwọn eléyìí ìkọ́ àwọn náà ń poró sáwọn ọmọ wọn ni pé àní àwọn dúdú yẹn sẹ́. I gotta go further again. ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀tọ́ tó kọ sí bíbá party leader avoid jail despite twice breaking law originally passed to curb Sir Oswald Mosley pronouncing black shirt. Britain first leader Paul Gordon convicted for wearing intimidating fleece. Ohun waṣọ tí kò jẹ́ kó wọ̀. The leader of the this was in 2016. Àwọn ìtẹ̀tí tí mo kó tó bẹ́ẹ̀ pẹ́ wá ti mú Yorùbá nation láti òkókódùn láti bí 2016 yẹn ó ṣeéṣe pé àti débi tá à ń lọ. Ṣòwárí ìwọ tó ní ẹ ó ti pẹ́ jù. Koiki promise wa pé Yorùbá nation máa wáyé under 3 years òmùgọ̀. Eléyìí náà ṣì ń jà fún ìran ẹ̀ láti 2016 títí dé 2023. Calculate how many years ago? 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Ó ti ń jà for more than 8 years fún British nationalist force bọ̀ kò lè rí nítorí pé òfin ìlú yìí ó ti accept pé àwa ta ti wọlé àti lucky sórí ìwọ tó ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ gba France wọlé mo bẹ̀ẹ́ pé kọ́lọ́jọ́ wọlé ìyẹn ni fídíò Professor James tá máa sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí láìpẹ́ ẹja pọ́ọ́lù bọ̀bọ́ ìdí ẹ̀ sí. sórí wọn òtún lélẹ́yìí Britain first Paul Gordon in Atran court charged with stirring up hatred. Ó ń stir up hatred. Èyí táwa ń ṣe kò ń ṣe hatred. Àwa ń fẹ́ in tó jẹ́ tiwa nítorí pé a ti wà marginalized, a ti wà subjugated. Eléyìí tèmi ń ṣe tá a máa ń rò pé violent ni tó bá pàdé àwọn eléyìí lálẹ́ ọlọ́mọ ẹ̀kọ́ tó bẹ̀bọ̀ lára. Ojú ló kárọ̀ àwọn lè mọ́ tó bá pàdé ẹ̀ ní alẹ́ tí kò sí kámẹ́rà wá tì kan bọ̀ ẹ́ lára wá dẹ̀ máa ra máa lọ. So you can see torí pé 2020 lélẹ́yìí Britain first leader Paul Gordon charged with terror offence. Ìwọ́dọ̀ ni terrorist ni wá no àwa ò kì í ṣe terrorist. Mú kí ìyá mi kò gbọ́dọ̀ kú Ṣọlá comrade ìyá dáadáa ọlọ́run àwọn pẹ̀lú yìí. Thank you so much for joining. And this is why a gbọ́dọ̀ máa farabalẹ̀ Yorùbá nation ṣe kánjúkánjú pé a máa fi ara balẹ̀ tá a fẹ́ fi gbà á kúrò lọ́wọ́ wọn torí pé it is a lifetime tá a bá ti lè gba Yorùbá nation finally nìyẹn kò tún sípa tó ń padà sẹ́yìn a kò máa wá ṣe kí ni a máa defend the border wa torí pé wọ́n lè fẹ́ wá invade wa lọ́jọ́ iwájú a gbọ́dọ̀ ní technology débi pé ẹni bá ń bọ̀ bá a gbọ́dọ̀ blue ẹ̀ láti anywhere tó bá ti ń bọ̀ àti máa rí wọn kò ṣe tí wọ́n ń jíyàn gbé tí incident ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Anambra látago 3 a ṣe ń gbọ́ ní ọwọ́ alẹ́ ìyẹn ò kì í ṣe country mi so now mo fi pé ti understand mo ní láti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ọ̀bọ̀ ìmọ̀ ṣe rí pé mo kàn kí ni ilé náà ti lọ sì sọ ní gbogbo bíi 3 weeks ago Diana Albert ẹja gbọ́n tó sọ níbà lára àwọn MP dúdú gàdá tó dá nìyẹn ó sọ̀rọ̀ lórí bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn ilé dẹ̀ ti wá níbà ti pẹ́ àwọn generation kí ló ṣe tó ń pẹ́ tó lòdì báyìí àwọn generation ni Diana Abbott ó ti àwọn tó kó wá àwọn bàbá wọn okú ẹrú tí Britain ṣe náà ni bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn ti gbàgbé pé ìlú òun ló ṣe gbogbo wàhálà yẹn àmọ́ reason tó kò play bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ti wò ó pa kò play all right it's okay it would have been nice to hear what Diana Abbott wanted to say now ẹ wo gbogbo tí bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn máa ń gbé jáde nísìnyí the greater the number of humans the greater number of houses you will need. The housing crisis is therefore due to mass immigration. Mass immigration. You want to concrete over the green belt to accommodate endless mass immigration, stop immigration, end the housing crisis. Ó ń bá Jeremy Corbyn sọ̀rọ̀ pé Jeremy Corbyn ni want to fix the housing crisis, build new council homes, introduce rent caps, end the surge of empty houses. Jeremy Corbyn bàbá good leader labour ni. Ó ti ń jà tipẹ́ fún àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù. Ẹ wá wo tẹ́ bá lọ sórí péjì bọ̀bọ̀ yìí. Gbogbo tó máa ń gbé jáde ẹgbọ́n tó sọ nísìnyí báyìí. Ó ní this is bizarre. We expect to see this on the street of Pakistan, not in England. England eléyìí Britain ti rógo Hey, 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 hey. Sori pé jẹ́ pọ́sì tó ń sọ yẹn àmọ́ tó ń sọ èdè Lárúbáwá ló ń sọ sori pé olúkálukú ló ní culture tiẹ̀ olúkálukú ló ní èdè tiẹ̀. Now you can see why a gbọ́dọ̀ tètè a gbọ́dọ̀ múra kíákíá eléyìí ò ń sọ̀rọ̀ Tinubu kò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú Tinubu. England owó yo sori báwọn ṣe operate bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn bínú pé eléyìí ayò ṣe Pakistan bọ̀ ó ti gbàgbé pé jàǹbá tí Britain ṣe ní Pakistan àti India òun ló lọ lọ́nkọ́ yẹn òun rántí yẹn. So how do you stop all this? Ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ pé àwa wà tolerant ní bíbá but ṣé ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ṣó ń yé yín nísìn ṣe ti ń get understanding tí bọ̀bọ̀ yìí sọ ṣe rí pé báwa náà ṣe ń bínú ní Nàìjíríà kò ń ṣe gbogbo àlà ń bínú but àwọn kan bínú bìkan àwọn ò rí vision táwa ń rí bọ̀bọ̀ yìí tí wo vision pé eré ilẹ̀ tó ń dánwò ní bíbá ó pọ̀ ẹ̀yẹ́ ká tún ṣe òbí mi ẹ̀wọ̀n kan tó sọ àwọn Taliban ó ní wọ́n smash musical equipment ẹ̀wọ̀n they are the same like Boko Haram ẹ̀wọ̀n ó ń la kẹrí pé bọ́ ọkùnrin bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹrí ó ń làlù ó ń fọ ẹ̀rí ó destroy ẹ̀ àwọn Afghanistan lélẹ̀ àwọn Taliban ẹ̀rí náà kẹrí náà ó bàjẹ́ bọ̀bọ́ ìwọ̀n sọ pé kí ló sọ níbẹ̀ ó ní the Taliban ó pọ̀ eléyìí àwòrán mi yá mi yé àwọn ọmọ nídìí bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ̀ lélẹ̀ ìgbà tó ní ọkọ dé ni máa ń lọ sí Canada mo lọ́mọ nísìnyí ìbá lọ Canada oríṣiríṣi ìdí bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ̀ oríṣiríṣi bọ̀ normal Canada bó ṣe wà náà nìyẹn ẹja wo tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tó kọ síbẹ̀ ó ní no wonder no one respect our police ẹ̀yin ọmọ kéékèèké ẹ bójú ẹni sí. Ìgboro ti dàrú ọlọ́pàá yìí máa jẹ gbèsè kí lè lè fẹ́ lọ́sàn-án gan ọlọ́pàá ṣíkìlà orí Kingsley láìkì tá a bá ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ó ti sáré rẹ́rìn ó ti mẹ́mú mú yẹ́nyẹ́nyẹ́ àwọn ọkùnrin láìkì bíbá yìí. So bọ̀bọ́ yìí ní abájọ tọ́lọ́pọ̀ ṣe lọ́sẹ̀ rẹ̀ bó ó ti gbàgbé pé culture wa tí wọ́n gbà kúrò lọ́wọ́ wa àwa ta ṣé nísìnyí nígbà tí mo dé gbà nísìnyí àná nísìnyí mo post picture gàrí tí mo mu mo gbádùn ẹ̀ gàrí Ìjẹ̀bú ṣé nísìnyí màá wá torí pé mo ń gbé ní UK yes mo like fish and chips but mo gbọ́dọ̀ respect culture tiwọn bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn náà gbọ́dọ̀ gba culture tiwa àjọ wà nílùú ìníṣẹ́ 24 years lèmi ti lò ó máa pé 25 ní September àjọ wà ń bíbá ẹni no going back ìníṣẹ́ whether they like it or not ẹjẹ ìrìn wá fídíò ẹlẹ́ǹkan èmi náà gbádùn irọ́ ni èmi náà àṣìṣe wọn náà gbádùn ẹ̀ ó yẹ ẹjẹ àwòlẹ́ nǹkan sí wàhálà dé kí lè léyìí Samba ìdíróró kí lè léyìí Samba ọlọ́pàá ó tún yọ fìlà lórí ọlọ́pàá kí lè léyìí Samba ìdíróró agbábọ̀ ló ń fi sí ibo gangan ló ń lò ó kàn rún dín yẹn ibo ló ń rún wọ́n gangan kò tẹ̀ yé olówó ẹ̀gbọ́n sẹ̀ ìyá ni kúrò lórí péjì báyìí wàhálà dé báyìí. láì ṣe Las Vegas kan ló ti máa ń ṣe gbọ́n nǹkan báyìí ọ̀sán gangan báyìí sórí carnival ọlọ́run àjẹkọ́ rí visa fún ẹ sórí tó bá wọlé máa bọ̀ ní carnival nọ́tí ní carnival wàá ranjú báyìí wàá máa datọ́ nǹkan bẹ níbẹ̀ ìbọn carnival ni àwọn Brazilian ló ní àwa náà ní tiwa o a ní Ṣàngó Òde a ní kinní kan but a promote ó jẹ́ ká máa ṣe Ọ̀ṣun kinní kan carnival ní London but a ṣe nítorí pé Nàìjíríà ní gbogbo wa táwa kan bá ní a fẹ́ ṣe ọmọ Ìgbò máa ní no now British máa sọ fún wa pé àwọn Ìgbò sọ pé no but this is what we should be doing in all our own walks of life ẹ̀gbọ́n mi tó ní ages ẹ̀yin náà ní ha 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 bẹ́ẹ̀ ni rẹ́rẹ́ rún náà ẹ̀já wo fídíò tán lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ ó yá ayọ̀tàwòye náà ti tó. So kí ni mo fẹ́ bá wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé ó tún kọ̀ǹdẹ́mù ìyẹn èèyàn tiwa Raheem Sterling ó ní scholarship tó ń give àwọn dúdú nìkan ló ń fún ó ní racist ni ẹ̀gbọ́n àwọn ọlọ́kọ̀ọ́sẹ̀ ara ń tàn sọ lélẹ̀ ó ní our latest action video our support àwọn èèyàn yìí o a fi ń ṣe àpèjúwe ọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ni no offence as officer no torture ẹ̀rọ àwọn tó mọ law wọ́n ní no offence so officer yẹn àrẹ akọ máa dìde níbi tó dúró sí yẹn no touch náà nìyẹn èyí tó ń dìde nísàlẹ̀ yẹn kọ́ mo máa sùn yìí o Mr. Oladimeji wọ́n ní no offence pé officer yẹn ò touch ẹ̀ carnival too dey send person back home if you touch untouchable yansh ṣé bàbá yìí ti touch untouchable ṣé kò ń ṣe pé ẹ ti wà ní UK wọ́n deport yìí tó bá lọ carnival tó bá lọ control rẹ wàláì Nàìjíríà ló máa dé Ọlọ́run kò ṣeré èmi náà lọ sí carnival kó tó di pa mari a lè máa sọ fún ta ṣe lọ́hùn Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ ṣe social media tí mi ò bá tẹ̀ lọ carnival kí ló ní wọ́n lọ carnival ní sí kí ló máa wáìnì dé kan wọ́n bá gbé sórí social media báyìí ẹni kò jẹ àná ẹ̀wọ̀n tó pariwo Yorùbá nation wọ́n ní báyìí pé mo ní family wọ́n ní máa pé mi náà ní private life ó yẹ já wo fídíò yìí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni Ọlákúnlé ó lè wo ìkébè tó o gbọ́dọ̀ tọ́ọ̀chì ní tó bá ti tọ́ọ̀chì ní wàhálà. ṣùgbọ́n ọlọ́kan síbẹ̀ Britain force taking our country back èmi ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn nísìnyí pé ìwọ tó ń kọ́ńdẹ́mù bàbá Akíntóyè Mr. Samson ọ̀rọ̀ àti kúrò lọ́rọ̀ dì í ẹjẹ́ àpadà sínú program ẹ bá ti gbọ́ dì nǹkan mo gbọ́ bàbá kan lánàá ẹ má kí n tún lọ síbẹ̀ yẹn ká bá divert attention wa àwọn ẹni nípa àwọn tá a máa ń mu kinní kan ó ní kò ń ṣe omi o kò dẹ̀ ń ṣe ọtí fídíò mo lè share ó wà lórí Facebook ó ní yé máa mu kinní yẹn púpọ̀ ó ní tó bá jẹ́ tìyàwó ẹ o lè mú bọ́ tó bá ti ń ṣe tìyàwó ẹ má mú o ewu bẹ níbẹ̀ wàhálà wà lórí social media ọlọ́ọ̀ ẹgbọ́n nǹkan tó kọ sí bíbáyìí sori pé èmi tí mo ń pariwo Yorùbá nation nísìnyí sori pé kò sí kankan tó wrong níbẹ̀ sori pé òun náà sọ pé Britain force taking our country back but ẹ bá mi sọ fún bọ̀bọ̀ yìí pé kó bá wa sọ fún prime minister àti king God bless the king la máa ń sọ kó jẹ́ ká máa lọ but àwọn ọ̀sán yẹn òun kàn dẹ́mu immigrant tó ń wọlé immigrant tó sì máa dé òun ló lọ lọ́nkàn yẹn. Only migrant hotel in Ipswich in Suffolk packed with illegal migrants, men enjoying the sunny weather. Wọ́n ní enjoy ẹ̀. Nígbà tí wọ́n ti bá ẹjẹ́ kúrò ní bíbá ìdí ẹ̀jọ́ àti pẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn, ẹjẹ́ wọn padà sí bíbá. Ṣẹ́rí náà pé understand tí n bá lọ show bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn tí bá kọ̀ play video Professor James understanding yẹn kò ní yé wa we might get lost along the line. That is why I had to play that Paul Golding so that we can have the Mr. Oladimeji na true I've got person that touch and they send the person back home from carnival ó lọ fọwọ́ kan bèbè dí nínú carnival tó bá dé Nàìjíríà tí ìròyìn yẹn bá dé Nàìjíríà kí ló máa sọ náà a sọ pé òun lọ fọwọ́ kan bèbè dí ní carnival ló ń fi padà wá dé ọlọ́mọdé kò ṣe dáadáa àkóbá àdábá nìyẹn mo kí mọ́mí wa Eunice Ladipo ọpẹ́ sọ pé me too I'm coming to UK by the grace of God gbogbo ẹni tó bá ti fún bísẹ̀ máa bọ̀ èmi ò ṣe visa o tó bá ti dé ìná ṣàlàyé àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ tó lè gbé tí ò ṣe ní ṣe àṣìṣe mo sọ fún pé a ti ń produce àwọn videos yẹn tí fídíò yẹn bá ti ń di pé ó ṣe díẹ̀ à sọ fún yín ibi tí ẹ ti máa lọ rí wò ìyẹn kò kí ń ṣe live stream my 24 years mo fi documented torí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ máa dé àtẹ̀yìntẹ́ ti dé àtijọ́ tí àwọn èèyàn máa rí àwọn nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn wò kò wá ń ṣe fún Nigerians nìkan ìyẹn English ni kò sí Yorùbá kankan nínú ẹ̀ 30 minutes ni is either 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes my 24 years in UK mo ní ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo lè sọ tó pọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ mama mo ní topic by topic mo fẹ́ promoted so that kébì náà lè jẹ́ owó YouTube dáadáa mo kí ẹ Kazo studio káàbọ̀ sórí ètò.
Cry in France, where many have condemned it as a gross violation of human rights. But it's also reawakened questions about the territory's contested status.
ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tó sọ níbẹ̀ yẹn territory contested status kí là ń contest ní Nàìjíríà lẹ́nìí à ń contest territory wa yes we have been locked into this country called Nigeria but that territory ó ti ní demarcation ẹ jẹ́ kí n change background yẹn we have a demarcation kí ló dé tí wọ́n fi jẹ́ ká padà sí demarcation yẹn America already ìfẹ́ ká ṣe yẹn because America ò dì ní fi wàhálà tí ó ń lọ lágbàáyé kó tó wá jẹ́ kí ti Nàìjíríà kó wọlé ìyẹn lọ́ ṣe ti kí Tinubu nísìn wọ́n ti kí Tinubu already àlànà nísìn à ń sọ guardian lélẹ̀ gbogbo àlọ́ náà máa ní káwọn yẹn fún wọn lówó kódà àwọn lè máa sọ pé iye báyìí mo ti login láti wá wo page àwọn mo mọ problem wọn advert dẹ̀ ti pọ̀ jù just too much advert now 4 people killed in an attack on the US diplomatic convoy. Àti sọ̀rọ̀ díẹ̀ ní lálẹ́ àná. Mo kí n lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ìyá lálùbáríkà, ìyàwó Agbémilékè, my beautiful auntie. Mo rẹ̀ kí ìyá mi tèmítèmí. Mo rí lógo wọn lẹ́nujọ́ mẹ́ta. I guess maybe she has a project or she's working. Mo rẹ̀ kí gbẹ̀yìn ìyá wa gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wà ní gbogbo ibi tí olúkálùkù wà. Amẹ́ríkà ti ní kí wọ́n lọ kí Tinubu so that kí ọkàn wa lè ṣí kúrò pé election tribunal kankan ẹ lọ draw another 4 years. Ẹ wo bí wọ́n ṣe pè wá wọ́n ní we are Nigerian but bọ̀bọ́ yìí sọ nísìnyí pé in time contest fún is the territorial part because nobody is Nigerian but because we have been told that we have got independent in 1960 even though after that independence it was a failure because regional government of fún which would have given us a better opportunity has been destroyed. Whether it was destroyed by the Igbo, whether it was destroyed by the Yoruba, it was destroyed and nobody talked about it anymore. What the politicians, Olori Buruku bomb bastard, are doing now is they are telling you we should continue. And I think I should slot in this video quickly. There's a video, the Zamfara State Governor. I'm sure some of you have seen that video. Zamfara State Governor, Olori Buruku, Tiko Zamfara She, is now fighting to be the Senate President, open the Senate President. Oda, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ fídíò yìí. Arise TV ló ní. Zamfara wọ́n ní gold tí wọ́n jí ní Zamfara. The gold tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Zamfara ọwọ́ bọ̀bọ̀ ìlú wa is now ready to spend $1 million láti fi dé Senate President. Kí ló wà nínú Senate President yẹn? Kí ni juicy tó ń bẹ nínú politics Nigeria? That is why your politicians will do everything to make sure that they remain there and they become powerful. Because tó bá ti lè kúrò nínú politics, they don't have the kind of money that you think that they have. Politics ló jẹ́ kí gbogbo wọn di billionaire. Tinubu tẹ̀ ń pariwo lẹ́ni, owó Lagos ló jí. Whether you like it or not, owó Lagos ló fi di tó fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ níjà. Company wo ló set up, iléeṣẹ́ wo ló ní, kò ní kankan. Ó náà ní accountant, òun ní kinní kan, òun gba irọ́ ló ń pa. Àfi tó bá yẹ kó tún ṣe drug, nìkan ló fi rí owó bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ já gbọ́ fídíò.
Same National Assembly.
I get that.
So I think it's a done deal.
I get that, Senator Yari. You want to be Senate President, but you were governor of Zamfara State. Yeah. That is still part of the poorest states in this country. 92% poverty. Those are the numbers coming out of Zamfara State. One of the highest as regards people impoverished in this country. Little or no, very little minimal development. But you are a man that lives in a lot of affluence and wealth. Even recently at a book launch, you gave 250 or close to 300 million naira to somebody at a book launch. A lot of people are saying,
donate 300 million for a book launch. He could have used that same 300 million láti fi order books. Ṣé book tó ń ṣe yẹn, ṣé o máa fún àwọn ọmọ secondary school àbá àwọn ọmọ? You can see tá a bá ń sọ fún èèyàn pé ṣe rí èyí tí ẹ nífẹ̀ẹ́ Nàìjíríà gan. Nǹkan pé ìṣọ́ àmọ̀kọ́ra lórí àmọ̀kọ́ra lórí kọ́. Mo wà lórí live program mo wà lórí live program. Mo wà lórí live program, ta ló sọ̀rọ̀? Mo wà lórí live show. Okay, all right. Ẹ ṣé. Wọ́n náà send video kan sí wa ni. Àdúgbò lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ tí video lọ sẹ́. Ẹ jẹ́ àwọn agbẹ́lẹ̀ lọ. Ilé tó ṣẹlẹ̀ náà àti play video yẹn ti go viral. Wọ́n ní lè ṣẹlẹ̀ ní this video ta play lẹ́ǹkan yẹn. Wọ́n ní Abúlé Ẹ̀gbá ló ti ṣẹlẹ̀ under bridge. Abúlé Ẹ̀gbá ni video tí mo play rántí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ṣe wọlé ẹ̀ nínú ní get video yẹn. Ó wà lórí page Sowore. Àwa náà máa post ẹ̀ nísìn. Mo ní lè post ẹ̀ sórí Facebook, mo lè post ẹ̀ sórí Twitter. Thank you so much. And to send it.
why didn't you spend a lot of effort in fixing your state and at least improving the poverty prospect when you were there? And what qualifies you now to want to be the Senate President?
What does the process have to do with the Senate President?
Your hitherto.
Only what has that process got to do with the Senate President? And olórí burúkú la bá tó sẹ́. Ó kò jẹ́ pé èyí tẹ́ wà nílé, mo máa sọ pé kò ń ṣe fault yín. Ẹ wo bó ṣe question ẹ̀ ní sara ti ara ẹ̀ ti ń gbóná. Wọ́n fẹ́. And that's why ìyá Dagboru yẹn náà kò fẹ́ ká question, kò fẹ́ ká béèrè ká kàn máa ṣe Yorùbá nìkan ká má ní béèrè ká má béèrè. Ẹja gbọ́ ìtókù.
So record.
This one you are talking about.
That's what it is. Your record. Your record.
What does that? Excuse me.
Mr. Yari, that's the record you'll be judged by. That's the record you'll be judged by. That's your.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Ṣẹ́gun Ọ̀nà. Ṣiṣẹ́ ń lọ díẹ̀díẹ̀. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́tí wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ tẹ́rọra plug etí yín tẹ́ ń gbọ́ lọ. Ẹ máa gbọ́ Koiki Media tó máa di pé ó máa fa wàhálà níbi iṣẹ́ o. Ẹ lè padà wá wò ní anytime. Ọlọ́dẹ ṣe ní monetization so wọ́n ṣe advert lórí YouTube wa mọ́. Ẹ bá kọ̀ ti click báyìí, a máa gbé lọ. Tọ́ba dẹ̀ pé bá ń rí advert ẹ jẹ́ kí n mọ̀ kí n tètè ṣe pé fún YouTube torí pé monetization àwọn ti yọ àrí owó kankan gbà mọ́ lórí ẹ̀ wá dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run pé ẹ̀mí ṣì ń bẹ.
Excuse me. What does that happen? Before me, how many governors of state?
So what did you do to change it?
Am I the first governor in Zamfara State?
So what did you do to change it in your time? Because
another news headline tí mo ṣẹ̀rí tán mọ́ wá ti gbé jáde 30 people died in a new attack by the terrorists in Nigeria. 30. Hey, long sùúrù.
That's your record.
I'm not. I'm not. It's a record that I'm a governor, yes? And I have done my best when I'm there. And the issue of poverty is all over the northern part of the country. You know it. So it's not the one that can make a magic. And by the way, in total Nigeria, how many percentage in object poverty? How many in total? And if you...
All right, so that's just about that video. Mo kàn fẹ́ slot ẹ̀ in. Ẹ ká padà sọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀yà close the day kí mi tó tún wọlé. Ẹ já padà sọ́dọ̀ Professor James Carl Lindsay.
So, what exactly prompted the recent developments, and why is Mayotte such a controversial issue? Hello and welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name is James Carl-Lindsay, and here I take an informed look at international relations, conflict, security, and statehood. Although we tend to think that the era of decolonization is now over, the legacy and...
The era of decolonization. Ṣé decolonization ẹ̀ ti tán lóòótọ́? Remember, we started with kí ni wọ́n ń pè ní
post-colonialism.
Decolonization. Ṣé tòótọ́ ni a ti free as a country? Ṣé tòótọ́ ni a ti dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè? Mo kí bàbá Abíọ́dún wọn ní bunch of criminal rules. Mo kí bàbá mi ẹ̀gbọ́n mi dáadáa Yẹmí Fátókè. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin silent listeners. Ẹ̀yin ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n tẹ́ ń sọ pé yẹn kò kàn wá nísìnyí ẹ̀wọ̀n tí bọ̀bọ̀ yìí tó ń fa sùúrùtù gidi. Fire doesn't discriminate. Only what the F who say fire and things to turn it into an opportunity for those LGBT propaganda. Àwọn náà ní street. Ẹ̀wọ̀ àwọn tó wọlé ní sẹ́, only it is good to see that European border fence are working and doing a good job. Àwọn tó fẹ́ wọ UK nílé. Every day, gbogbo posted something to wá against. So àwọn ilé nísìn, illegal immigrants celebrate entering the United States. Future Democrat vote right there. So this is why we are saying that ẹ jẹ́ ká stop gbogbo problem tó wà lágbàáyé. Surely stop it. Anthony Blinken ti kí Tinubu ní sin pé president-elect ẹ kú palẹ̀ mọ́ àwọn náà fẹ́ ṣe pẹ̀lú yín.
Consequences of European imperialism can still be felt in many places. Often, this is centred on lingering grievances about colonial injustices. Many countries rightly see it as a period of subjugation and exploitation. But as time passes, the effects slowly fade into history. However, in some cases, the colonial experience carries continuing consequences. This is felt most acutely when the decolonization process resulted in the partition of a territory. Sometimes this was done to create separate countries.
Ẹ rántí pé bọ̀bọ̀ yẹn ó ń bínú sáwọn Pakistan ẹ jẹ́ mú fídíò yẹn padà. Ó ti gbàgbé pé ìran tiẹ̀ ló lọ dá wàhálà sílẹ̀. Àwọn eléyìí nísìn I don't know whether Pakistan. Ẹgbẹ́ nǹkan tí Professor James sọ níbẹ̀ yẹn. We know that it was Britain that changed the borders of the Pakistan Indian during the colonial rule. And I have that image if I again lower Nibiba. I think I have the full one. Let's see if I can show you. There's a particular map that dotted every part of okay, welcome to the program once again. I'm trying to see if I can find that. The Marisha. Yes, Kamanja Lele. Kàmáńjà nìyẹn láti ṣe ṣé bàbá lélẹ̀. Mo mọ̀ pé mo ní back mi lẹ́yìn. Ẹ rántí but I want to show you in the full screen so that you can be able to see and get the message. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí and welcome to the live program. Ẹ̀yà ọ̀gá máa rí nínú sínú image mi existing. Mo rántí orúkọ tí mo fi pè Katrina Lang. I can't remember the name, but I'm going to change my background and then you'll be able to see the message that I'm talking about. Màá wá jáde. Because it takes some time. But ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́ lórí tó wà lẹ́yìn mi. Ẹ rántí image yìí, image tí mo fẹ́ gbé jáde ní big screen so that ká lè rí the picture of, because orí tèmi máa block ẹ̀ láàrin méjì. This ẹ rántí gbogbo, this is gbogbo bí tí Britain ṣe jàmbá sí lélẹ̀. Ìtẹ̀ ń wò lẹ́yìn mi. So Paul Goldlin àbí whatever tó jẹ́ yìí, it seems he doesn't understand the reality pé just as Professor is saying here, sometimes this was done to create separate countries, as is happened with India and Pakistan. So lẹ́yìn nísìnyí tá a bá wo England àti Scotland, the two people tó ń lead there, they are from that region. Ìkan náà fẹ́ break away, ìkan náà ò lè break. Rishi Sunak ó ní ò lè break o. Èyí tó wà ní Scotland náà máa break. I don't know how that is going to play out.
As happened with India and Pakistan. But in other cases, the partition was meant to allow a colonial power to retain control of a...
Mo fẹ́ ká farabalẹ̀ gbọ́n tí màá yìí sọ. Ṣé rí, the diplomacy part of this movement needs to be up a little bit. A ní láti push more nítorí pé evidence show pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá nílẹ̀ Yorùbá àwa la nílẹ̀ yẹn. But the problem we're having is that the West still believe that since we are in democracy, we don't need to break away. Or we just need to fine-tune where the problems are and deal with it. But that is not going to happen.
Part of the territory. This might be for military purposes, as happened with Britain in Mauritius and Cyprus. Alternatively, it could be because the local population wanted to retain its links with the colonial power.
Ṣé àwa sì fẹ́ retain ní power wa pẹ̀lú Britain? We don't want to, but ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni our politicians still want to retain the power with the British or Britain, but not some of us that are following Baba Akintoye and Igboho.
One of the best examples of this latter group is Mayotte.
Ó kí ó dárúkọ Mayotte yẹn mọ́, ẹ jẹ́ kí n lọ wò ìlú wo náà pè bẹ́ẹ̀. So ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré wo Mayotte. Buhari returned back to Nigeria after London dentist olórí burúkú bomb bastard. And news kankan ta fẹ́ wò ní bíbá. So because I don't want to open too many further. So let me go and look at Mayotte. Ìlú wo ni Mayotte? I've never had a... abẹ́ France làwọn yẹn wà. Okay. The whole population is 270,000. Their capital is Mamoudzou. Mayotte is an archipelago in the Indian Ocean between Madagascar and the coast of Mozambique. It is a department and region of France, though traditionally Mayotte culture is most closely related to that of the neighboring Comoros Island. The Mayotte archipelago is surrounded by the Coral Barra Reef, which shelters a lagoon and the marine reserve that are popular divine destination. Currency, Euro. Official language, France. Now, ṣó ti rí pé àwa náà ní right. But right yẹn ó easy láti sọ lẹ́nu báyìí. It is the most easiest thing to be saying we have the right. But we must continue effort, negotiating. And when we say negotiating, does not mean that we are supporting the politician. We want to talk to them. We want them to realize that our point of view as a Yoruba people must be looked into. Because if they don't look into it, it could be violent, it could be bloodshed, it could be coup, it could be chaos, it could be anything you want to think of. And that is why Baba Akintoye said we must continue with the diplomacy side of things. Àwọn kan ní ó ti pẹ́ jù. Look, àwọn ilé tí à ń sọ yìí nísìn, their own did not just pop up like that. Let me go and find out how they got their independence. How they got independent. Let's go and let's just find out. On December 22, 1974, an independent referendum was held. Kíni ẹ̀ wá sí mi lọ́kàn nígbà tí mo fẹ́ wọ bathroom, and I still have to do another program on that separately. Why tó jẹ́ pé ní ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa àwọn aláwọ̀ brown, àwọn aláwọ̀ tó dá, kí ló dé tó jẹ́ pé ọ̀rọ̀ referendum wọn ò fẹ́ jẹ́ kó jáde lọ́dọ̀ tiwa? Why is it that they don't want a referendum in Africa? But lọ́dọ̀ tiwọn, referendum is every time tí bá ń gbọ́ these countries, because mo gbọ́ mayor theory, I'm hearing it for the first time while I was listening to Professor James Lindsay this morning. It's more often find out, why is it that we are always difficult in our own part of the continent to be given opportunity to be able to have a referendum? Because all these smaller countries we are talking today, they had the opportunity, they had the privilege to be given a kind of independent referendum. So on December 22, 1974, an independent referendum was held in Comoros. 3 islands chose to become independent. That was 4 years before I was born. So why is it difficult now that we are not given the same opportunity? In Mayotte, however, 63.8% of the population voted to remain part of French Republic. But on July 6, 1975, just 3 years before I was born, the Comorian authorities unilaterally declared their independence. So I want to say, kò lè possible. I'm not talking about that kind of independence, that declaration, because that is not a declaration. That declaration is not authentic. And we have every proof to say that it's not authentic. But what we are saying, I've told you this a lot of times, you can see that countries like these Comorian authorities unilaterally declare their independence. If our Yoruba politicians are with us, if Tinubu was with us, as an example, it would have been easy for us to declare Yoruba nation. There's nothing the North can do. There's nothing anybody can do. We will just probably bis, and everybody will go their separate ways. So you can tell that when we talk about smaller countries like these, they've gone through a lot. They got their own independence. I mean, Comorian declared, Mayotte got it independent, and I'm not sure whether there's any video. What is driving a rise violence in the French overseas? Okay, let's watch this video. Let's see. Perspective. What is driving the rise of violence in the French overseas? This is what I am saying, that we are not a violent people. But the way the situation is, if care is not taken, it's going to drop into violence. And violence is not something that you can, hey, Quickie, don't be violent. No. You might not like my utterances. It does not matter. My views might be different from others. I still believe there will be gbas-gbos ma wáyé, so that we can move this movement a little bit further. But we must exhaust all the diplomatic tie, all the diplomacy, everything we must push into it. And that is not just for Baba Akintoye. That is not just for YSDA. That for every one of us. Don't solve the wise. So let's go into it and read and listen to this. I hope they are not speaking in French though. Advert. Advert level then, so oh yeah, bẹ̀rẹ̀ now.
Are you ready for greatness?
Okay, they can mute audio. I just hope it's not.
Now, in 2009, the archipelago of Mayotte, nestled in the Indian Ocean between Madagascar and the coast of Mozambique, voted in a referendum to become France's newest overseas department. Many hoped that change would not only increase wealth and development, but also help the territory.
I think I should use this opportunity if you want to confess no at the ago méjìlá ti lu brunch gan ti wọlé. Mo kí gbogbo ẹni tí ẹ ń gbọ́ wa ibi báyìí ni lecture room because you must take something home with you. But every day we try to bring something different. I still believe in the diplomacy route of this movement, but there must be the push. And if every diplomacy is not going to work, then let's cut that work. Tabadaru amapada see that diplomacy by force, by fire, by force. So I'm going to remove my video because I'm going to stand up a little bit while I just go and go to the conflict in Kilomu because the committee I want to committee break, but kilo come for the Yoruba nation. So I have to stand up now. I'm not being able to láti máa ṣàlàyé fún mo share your video to do tèmi kúrò. So mo kí mọ́mí wa Fatima Mustapha mo kí inshallah ilẹ̀ Yorùbá máa dúró bọ́fẹ́ dọ́kọ̀. And those of you that probably don't know, let me understand bí nǹkan ṣe ń work lágbàáyé o. Àkè Yorùbá nation náà bó ṣe ń work gangan lẹ fi gbọ́ yìí. So let's watch this video. Kí ló ń pa Mr. Jídé lẹ́rìn? Bẹ́ẹ̀ni ẹlòmíì ọmọ bí nǹkan ṣe ń work o àrùn mi bẹ́ẹ̀ni kí ló àrùn mi sọ fún kí ló kàn ń pọ̀ Yorùbá nation. Ó dẹ̀ kí lè sọ fún pé Yorùbá nation náà lájọ ń ṣe náà kí ló ń ṣẹ́kẹ̀ ẹ já gbọ́ fídíò yẹn.
Avoid the violence that plagued the nearby Comoros Islands, which adopted for independence in the 1970s. Well, some 13 years on from the vote, though, violence in Mayotte is seemingly worse than ever. Local officials warning that it's even on the edge of civil war following days of violence between rival gangs.
Oh my God, mo ti fẹ́ lọ kitchen mo tún gbọ́ civil war. Èmi máa ń like bí nǹkan bí ogun. Ẹgbọ́n nǹkan tó sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Ta ló gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀? Ṣé kí n rewind ẹ̀ díẹ̀ ká gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn? Ẹgbọ́n ṣe ẹ má máa dẹ́rù bà wá pé ẹran ogun kan wà níbi forget it. Ibi tí a bá ti jókòó sórí tébù ká yanjú ọ̀rọ̀ ní ti ọmọlúàbí ó máa di wà ó máa di n fẹ́ sọ pé iṣu ata yan pepper scatter. Ìyàwó mi dẹ̀ máa ń sọ pé oh my God wọ́n lè ṣe tún lọ sọ Yorùbá bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn nísìn ó ṣáà ti yé yín tí mo mean. Please Mr. Goige go and take your breakfast. Mo gbọ́wọ́ mo pé mi láìkí bí ogun báyìí nígbà tí mo gbọ́ ogun náà mo sá padà ní màá lọ nísìn ẹ já gbọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
Years on from the vote, though, violence in Mayotte is seemingly worse than ever. Local officials warning that it's even on the edge of civil war following days of violence between rival gangs. For more, Estelle Youssoufa joins me here on Set for Perspective. She is a lawmaker from Mayotte. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So can you first just give us a panorama of what's happening?
I think it's first very important to precise that Mayotte has been French since 1841, so more than a century and a half. And yes, we voted to access to a new status as a French overseas territory that actually enshrined us in the French Constitution. Now, since then, the Comoros, which actually claim sovereignty on Mayotte, we believe that the Comoros have started a migration war and sent thousands of migrants from their own island that came to Mayotte and now have started to pillage, kill, and start violence and foment violence. The problem for us is that it's mostly minors, people who are underage, between 10, 12, 13 years old, armed with machetes, bats of baseball, anything that they could put their hand on, rocks. And then they attack people on the roads, our kids going to school, they burn businesses, they burn houses, and the police forces seem powerless. We're talking about hordes of hundreds of kids who are dangerous. Now, one can say they are children and they are in danger, but now they turn to become dangerous for the population. And we've called for help for years. In 2018, Mayotte came to a standstill.
Mo fẹ́ ká máa farabalẹ̀ ká máa gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lọ gang violence in Mayotte. Àwọn ò tí di gang violence o. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ká dé stage yẹn o. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ fún àwọn èèyàn wa pé ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ fi ara balẹ̀ ká jókòó especially ẹ̀yin olóṣèlú. There is no monopoly to violence, but bàbá Akíntóyè sọ pé ìrìn àjò Yorùbá nation kò ní ní violent nínú. Ẹ má bínú mo kàn sọ̀rọ̀ láàrin méjì torí àkọlà ní fídíò yẹn ẹ túbọ̀ máa gbádùn ẹ̀ sí èmi náà ṣe tí mo máa ṣe lẹ́yìn bí.
Of a large social movement demanding security, and here we are in 2022 with an escalation in violence. Now the youth is attacking our children with machetes going to school. They enter the school buses. We now have portions of the island which are totally blocked. We see businesses, civil servants, families fleeing the island. They decide that enough is enough and they leave the island. So we've reached a point where we're actually convinced that the population will decide to take the matter in their own hands because the authorities don't do enough. And for me, that's the worst because we've called for help and we don't see that Paris takes it seriously. The Interior Minister takes it seriously, that's for sure. And we agree that sending reinforcements is crucial, but we also need more money for the Justice Department so that those who are arrested are actually taken to jail. And we also need to have...
Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ professor yẹn díẹ̀ ká fi báàkì ọ̀rọ̀ tí à ń gbọ́ nísìn. At least a ti mọ àwọn tó ń pè ní Mayoti yẹn àti get background wọn. Ṣé àwọn yàtọ̀ sáwa tó lórí méjì? Ẹ já padà sí bíbá.
At 630,000 square kilometres, or just under 250,000 square miles, the Republic of France is the world's 42nd largest country. But while most of the country lies in continental Europe, otherwise known as European France or metropolitan France, around 130,000 square kilometres, or approximately 15% of its territory, lies overseas. This territory falls into several different categories. Some are autonomous and semi-autonomous territories, such as French Polynesia and New Caledonia in the South Pacific. However, 5 areas are fully integrated into France as full departments on an equal footing with their counterparts in European France. These are French Guiana in South America, the Caribbean islands of Guadeloupe and Martinique, and Réunion and Mayotte in the Indian Ocean. Mayotte lies at the southern end of the Comoros archipelago, a cluster of 4 main islands and numerous smaller islands and islets like
a massive effort from our diplomacy to actually start a tough discussion with the Comoros to say enough is enough. And we also need to have the Minister of Defense deploy a maritime ship between the Comoros and Mayotte.
The situation has been a long time in the making. What are the root causes other than just migration? I mean, it sounds to me like it's more complex than just that. What's led up to
I think that you would
today?
Want a more complex explanation, but the situation is pretty simple. 80% of the...
Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí bí a ti ṣe ń gbádùn ètò ti ọ̀sán yìí. Orúkọ mi náà ṣì ni Ọláyọmí Kóìkì tí gbogbo wa mọ̀ sí Kóìkì Media. Ìta ń sọ̀rọ̀ lórí nígbà tá a ti kúrò nínú Star Radio. Òun náà ni nǹkan ẹyọ kan pé àwa ìran ọmọ aládé decolonization tó ṣì ń lọ tí wọ́n ní ká wà forced láti máa jẹ́ Nigerians. But as Nigerians, a ní value kankan nínú ilé, a ní value níta. Lótìtọ́ àwa kan ti láǹfààní àti gba status ìlú tá wà. But àwọn tó ì tí gba status yẹn kọ́. Mo kí ìyàwó Adéọlá Rita tí wọ́n fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dárúkọ mọ́mì. Ẹ̀ka àsán ni lọ́dọ̀ tiwa bí ẹ̀yin iṣẹ́ ń jí lọ́dọ̀ tí ń lọ́hùn ni. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí gbogbo ọmọ kóòtù òjíire. Bí ti ṣe ń kí náà ni mò ń kí gbogbo àwọn tó ń darí ètò ìrìn àjò Yorùbá Nation. Àwọn kan wá ní ẹni yẹn kò bla 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 blobloblo. At the end of the day, what will be will be. The Yoruba people and the Biafra, the Ijaws and the Hausas are all saying this country is not working. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ìlú kan tó ń pè ní Mayotte 1970 ṣé fọ́ọ̀kọ̀lárí lẹ́ǹkan ni wọ́n fún wọn ní referendum. Why is it difficult for us to get a referendum and decide whether we want to be together or not? Mo kí mọ́mí wa, mo dúpẹ́ Adégúnwà. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin member Lagos State Union. Mo kí gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ kọ̀ọ̀kan tó ń represent Yorùbá, but some of them are still under Nigerian association. It does not matter. One thing is, tá a bá sọ pé a fẹ́ nísìn nígbà wo la wá fẹ́ fẹ́ I am now in my 40s. Mo ti fẹ́ lò 25 years ní UK. So dìgbà tí bá dé 70, agree pé àwọn parents wa àtàwọn tó tẹ̀lé wọn títí dé 50 wọ́n make effort gbogbo wọn fẹ́ pa máa gba restructure Nigeria tó máa favour gbogbo wa but ó ti fail. And let's now go back to this video once again. I do not own the copyright. It's just for us to use it towards this education.
The cases judged in our tribunal are with foreigners. 80% of the inmates in our prison are foreigners coming from Comoros. The situation has exploded in less than a decade, meaning that we saw the influx of migrants going from 100 of people in the early 80s to now more than 100 people a day arriving by boat, plus 12,000 births per year in our only hospital, meaning that we have to build a class each week to follow with the demographic explosion that we are suffering. Now you would say, good, you have babies. Well, 80% of the babies being born in Mayotte are from Comoros. So no, it's not that complex. It's just that we're 375 square kilometers. We're a limited space with limited resources. We cannot absorb such an influx in such a limited time. I say that France is that Mayotte is France's Lesbos or Lampedusa. We're a hotspot of migration on an island that is suffocated under the influx of population. All our
lying off the southeast coast of Africa. At 374 square kilometres, or around 144 square miles, its closest neighbours are the three other islands that now make up the Union of the Comoros to its northwest. To its southeast is Madagascar, and directly to its west, Mozambique is the closest mainland African country, around 400 kilometres or 300 miles away. The population is around 270,000, or 0.4% of the overall French population of 68 million. The Mahorais, as they're known, are a complex combination of Africans, Arabs, Asians, and European settlers. While most are Sunni Muslims, like the 820,000 Comorans on the other islands, there's also a large Catholic community. Little is known about the ancient history of the Comoros Islands. However, it's believed that having been initially discovered by Arab and Persian explorers, the islands were later settled by Malays, Arabs, and mainland Africans. Then, in the 15th century, Islam arrived, and they became a patchwork of local sultanates. However, our story really starts in 1841, when one of the ruling sultans ceded Mayotte to France, which then declared it a colony 2 years later. This lasted until the middle of the 1880s, when France seized control of the rest of the islands, making them a protectorate. In 1912, all four islands were merged with neighbouring Madagascar to become the colony of Madagascar and
our public services are completely saturated. We just have one hospital. During the pandemic, during the COVID crisis, the country discovered that we only have 11 intensive care units for 500,000 people. We are a territory that is extremely poor and that is now overwhelmed by the migration crisis. And I think that the violence, what we are all really saddened by, is that we saw that crisis coming, because many of the migrants leave their children behind when they are arrested. And we now have more than 6,000 to 10,000 people underage with no supervision that have grown on their own, that are literally enraged by adults and now organized in large gangs. So far, they don't have weapons, but they use machetes, and they still are dangerous.
Perhaps, if I may, some of the complexity lies in what you just touched upon in that response there, which is that there are also structural issues, things like access to water, social services. There is an issue of poverty on the island.
Which were not pre-existing.
Well, has the territory been forgotten by France's central government since becoming a department in 2009?
No, it was before. It's been French since 1841. So yes,
Well, just since it became a department.
Sorry?
Since it became a department in 2009.
That's just the status, but that doesn't change the obligation of Paris. It should have been that Mayotte has enough roads, have enough water sanitation, enough water production, period, regardless of whether or not we're a department. Because, I mean, the confusion there would be for
dependencies. This lasted until 1946, when the islands were again split off and became a separate French overseas territory with its capital on Mayotte. By the early 1950s, pressure was growing on France and the other European colonial powers to grant independence to their overseas territories. In 1958, France held a referendum on a new constitution, offering independence to any of the colonies that voted against it. But like almost every other French territory, the Comoros Islands voted overwhelmingly in favour of the new arrangement. Despite this, international calls for decolonisation continued, and in 1960 the UN General Assembly passed Resolution 1540.
Mo ní láti pọ́sì oúnjẹ mi bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣé rí ibi báyìí tí mo máa ń sọ fún yín ní gbogbo ìgbà? Declaration on granting of independent to colonial countries. Ṣé àwọn ò kì í ṣe èèyàn ni? Ẹ já lọ sí Koiki Media website. Where is my website? Ẹ rí declaration yẹn náà pé I upload ẹ̀ sí lórí ibẹ̀. Ṣé àwọn tí dọ́ àrípá àwọn bíi Arabs náà làwọn tó wà ní Mayotte yẹn náà? It's a mixed match. Àwọn people wọ́n ti báyé jẹ́. Wàláì history tí gbogbo ọmọ yẹn. Oh my God! Ìgbà tí mò ń gbọ́ fídíò yẹn láàárọ̀ yìí, mo kàn how did we get to all this? Eléyìí ní sin declaration lélẹ̀. Mi ò kò ń ṣe lé. Tí n bá rí nísìnyí máa lọ ẹjẹ́ mi wá sí ẹjẹ́ lọ wá lórí 1960 granting 19 independent bọ̀ lórí sí Google mi ò pé kẹ́ kí ni professor ṣe pè nísìn declaration okay ọmọ àgbéjáde nísìn ọmọ ní lọ́wọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ declaration of òun lélẹ̀ òun ni àkìlẹ́dẹ́kọ̀ okay PDF nìyẹn ẹ̀yà padà sẹ́yìn mo ti fi ṣe program dáadáa rí bọ̀dẹ́ àwọn èèyàn a máa ń gbàgbé nǹkan nígbà ronú sí. Ṣé n tí bàbá yìí sọ nísìn professors òun ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ fídíò yìí ní 4 days ago. I have talked about this so many times. Kò sẹ́ni wọn ní òun pé wọ́n ti gbọ́ pé mo kí ẹ wà rí ìjìnà dùn. Mo kí ẹ tẹ́ wà lórí MixLR. Mo kí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí gbogbo ìtẹ̀ tí wọlé. Comrade Prambe ní Naija can be repaired. It has come to down. Only I send those Sowore videos to you already on WhatsApp. Ẹ ṣé gan ni mo ti rí. Thank you so much, Comrade Prambe. Ẹ̀wọ̀n tí UN sọ ní bíbá ní general ẹ mọ̀ pé nínú bíbá ẹ mọ̀ pé mo tún sọ pé àwọn òlú kan sí lórí ìjókòó. Ta ló rántí fídíò yẹn? Mo fẹ́ mọ̀ bí àwọn èèyàn rántí. Mo kí mọ́mí wa Sùnbọ̀ ẹ káàbọ̀ mọ̀. Ẹ tó bá ṣe bí ẹ ṣe pàdé péjì ẹ̀ mọ́ tán ṣe ní bíbá. Àwa ta fi pín Nàìjíríà la jókòó yìí. Àbá rẹ̀ ṣe máa pín ẹ̀yẹn má wọrí. Ẹnu náà ní gbogbo àjọ wà. Ẹ rántí pé mo tún sọ màá countries that did not vote during declaration in 1960 United Nations. Àwọn country kan wà tí mo dárúkọ níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn a fi ṣe full program. How countries voted in general now. There were some countries that refused to vote. UK wà lára wọn. Wọ́n vote fún ìjókòó yìí. Ṣé wọ́n fẹ́ máa kó wa lẹ́rú títí ayé lọ ni? Countries that did not now. That did not vote during the declaration. Because a gbọ́dọ̀ máa dárúkọ àwọn countries yẹn léraléra. America náà wà níbẹ̀. They were absent. àwọn kan tẹ̀ tó wà absent ní 1948 torí mo prepare fún mi mo gbọ́dọ̀ máa láti bọ̀ mo mọ̀ pé Portugal wà nínú ẹ̀. These were countries. Foreign relations of the United Nations have provided free nations with a unique instrument influence. They did wọ́n wà absentees ni wọ́n jókòó pẹ̀lú wọn níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn but UK wà lára wọn. UK wà lára wọn kò ń ṣe òun lélẹ̀. And you wonder okay then lọ sí news bí a máa rí àwa jáde anyway má worry but UK was there okay ó náà lélẹ̀ yìí kí ni mo tún káàkiri fún ó wà níwájú mi náà gbogbo yín gan tẹ́ ẹ̀ wo program ẹ̀ tẹ́ ẹ̀ follow program nílẹ̀. It was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly on December 14, 1960. 89 countries voted in favor. Hey, kábíyèsí jẹ́ ìpínlẹ̀ ti jẹ́ enough oúnjẹ náà orí tí mo jẹ́ àti wà enough ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń gbé kámẹ́rà mi jáde. 89 countries ló vote for in favor. Tó bá sọ pé nǹkan in favor pé àwọn fẹ́ pé kí kíní ẹ̀ wáyé. Ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń sọ yìí ní 1960 ni o bí after tí Nàìjíríà gba independent but ṣé àwọn tí ń wọjọ́ ọ̀la pé táwọn bá lọ endorse kínní Kóìkì máa dé nísìn Ìgbòho máa dé Simon Ekpa máa dé Nnamdi Kanu máa dé wá fẹ́ béèrè fẹ́tọ̀ wọn so they were absent kí ló dé tí wọ́n sí ní orí ìjókòó ẹ̀jẹ̀ adarúkọ àwọn country náà so mo gbọ́dọ̀ tọ́jú kínní máa send ẹ̀ síra mi as an email ẹ mọ̀ kan tẹ̀ ẹ́ kí n print ẹ̀ jáde nísìn print ẹ jẹ́ tán printer. These are documents that we need to keep for a very long time torí pé so many people bá ẹ kọ̀ ló pé Yorùbá nation nǹkan kékeré ni oh my God ẹ jẹ́ kí n print ẹ̀ mo send ẹ̀ lọ sí print nísìn. I think I should add something more to that. Somebody add no. Okay, my printing. But in print. Only offline, but on load now. I print. Now, ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa. Okay, ó ṣe kí ni printing kí ni mi náà interesting. Technology ṣá. Ní ẹ ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ wà careful. Torí mo mọ̀ pé ó tó máa show kí ni printing kí ni mi náà. It was adopted. Kí ni wọ́n adopt? Ntí Professor James tó ń sọ níbí báyìí. Òun náà lélẹ̀ dọ́kúmẹ́ǹtì mo ti share so many times bí a ká tún share lọ sórí Facebook but ẹ mọ̀ fáwọn èèyàn wa ìgbà táwọn ní lọ ka gbogbo kínní Kóìkì Bọ́lá Abáṣẹ́dé ẹ kàn pariwo ẹni ẹ fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation àìsàn kankan they don't understand nígbà tá a ti sọ pé àfẹ́jà èmi ní afkájà ẹni ká má jà ẹ tó gbà táwọn adé ti jà ó ti di ká wọn máa ṣe ní pẹ̀lẹ́pẹ̀lẹ́ tùbítùbí mo kí bàbá wa Àjàdí Subaru kí ni ẹ ti print because tábà ní a fẹ́ ṣe diplomacy kò sí kankan tó wrong níbẹ̀ is always a good option. ṣé kí ni ẹ wá close because kò jẹ́ ní paper machine ṣe wà ọkàn ṣe máa print sí ní àwọn àti ṣe àwọn ọdúà kí ló tún sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Did you change the paper? Yeah, print. Ara tó yẹ kí wọn náà ní lélẹ kò ní printer but níbi tó ti níná ló máa ní printer ló ti print jáde yẹn nísìnyí. Àní Nàìjíríà kì í ṣe country ẹ máa bá mi argue lóṣì èyí tí mo print òun ló ti jáde ara ń tà ń sọ fún yín ẹ̀yin ọ̀dọ́ tẹ́ wà nílé tí wọ́n fi ìyà jẹ yín òun lélẹ̀ èyí tí mo lọ print yẹn òun lélẹ̀ nísìn o ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ print nísìn òtúnṣe lọ sí internet caf wà lọ san 200 naira tó ní. Ṣé o fẹ́ ṣe business o ní printer nínú ilé má ṣe ìyá ń jà àwọn èèyàn mú kí ẹ God last brown mọ́mí wa comfort ológunjà mú kí so mo gbọ́dọ̀ tọ́jú bíbà ẹ jẹ́ ká máa bá lọ. So sorry please Mr. Koiki can you send to our WhatsApp page okay ẹ jẹ́ kí n ṣe kankan mo fẹ́ share àbí ẹ jẹ́ n gbé lọ sórí Twitter mo tẹ̀rù bẹ́ẹ̀ mo ṣe ní WhatsApp lórí laptop yìí. So what I'm going to do, kó lè bá tètè yá, because information ìṣẹ́rẹ́ lè tí mo sọ lórí ẹ̀ ó jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa ká ní lọ́wọ́. These are documents that we should keep. Kamama Koiki Yorùbá nation bolódé iṣẹ́ ń tẹ̀síwájú ni because there are countries that disagree with our views pé a fẹ́ lọ. Mo ti share sórí okay máa share sórí comment section tá à ń bá lọ yìí pẹ̀lú link yẹn màá share PDF yẹn fún àwọn táwa lórí Koiki WhatsApp page but mo ní lè ṣe nísìn cause àwa lórí live program lọ́wọ́ nísìn so tí bá dẹ̀ mo fẹ́ máa lo laptop yẹn gbogbo àwọn èèyàn máa rí tí mò ń ṣe ní ibẹ̀ yẹn so what I'm going to do now mo fẹ́ gbé lọ sórí YouTube náà mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí link yẹn náà ni máa share link yẹn jáde nísìn so mo máa wá sórí YouTube YouTube náà nísìn mo bẹ̀ gbogbo wa ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe sùúrù ṣe rí ìrìn àjò ẹ̀mí ni ìrìn àjò tí bàbá Akíntóyè tí wọ́n rí vision fún ni ìrìn àjò tí gbogbo àjọ rí vision ni àwọn tó náà wọn rẹ̀ tí rí vision yẹn á ní láti bá wọn jà understanding ni kò tí ì yéra wa ọ̀nà àdẹ́jẹ́ kó yéra wa láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà kó bá yẹ pé gbà tí a bá ti dòkú láṣẹ máa sọ tí Koiki dẹ̀ ń sọ yẹn no àgbọ̀rọ̀ dé stage yẹn so máa copy ẹ̀ báyìí nísìn mo ti share lọ sórí YouTube mo ti ń gbé wá sórí àwọn platforms tó kù náà ẹ̀yin náà gbọ́ wọlé analysis ẹ̀ ni mò ń ṣe lọ ẹ rí i pé Professor James yẹn náà òun náà lọ lò ó a máa rewind ibẹ̀ yẹn padà mo bẹ́ẹ̀ ká farabalẹ̀ gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ dáadáa but for now ẹ jẹ́ ń jù wá sí ìbàyẹ̀ náà ẹ má bínú pé ó máa ṣó o mo kí Àjàlá mo tẹ̀rí alátẹ̀ǹkan ṣá àti bàbá wa Ibrahim àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n mi bàbá dáadáa Ọláṣẹ́wù torí pé mo ò ní fóònù tí mo fi ń mọ́nítọ̀ yín ni ẹ má bínú mo mọ̀ pé wà bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ́mí wa náà wà ń bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣàtóyìn ṣọlá ọládàpọ̀ mo fi tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ọ̀dà ọkọ rí ẹ má bínú pé mo kí o gbóyè dáadé wa Dennis normally máa ń mọ́nítọ̀ òkè bí akin lo fóònù ilé máa fi ṣe Facebook lè máa mọ́nítọ̀ comment cause ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ máa kẹ́yìn cause ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ wá Nàìjíríà tẹ́ ẹ náwó ẹ wá farabalẹ̀ ẹ fọ̀rọ̀ àṣírí kọ̀fọ̀ àṣírí jágbàjàgbà tó ń sọ níbẹ̀ yẹn wọ̀n nílàkàyè mo ń sọ fún yín pé àwọn ìlú mẹ́sàn-án ṣe 9 yes ẹ̀dàkà 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 ìlú mẹ́sàn-án wọ́n vote fún in tó máa jẹ́ kí ayé tiwa tètè lọ síwájú ẹ ṣé gan ni bàbá Moses Adéníran mo fi tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ dárúkọ yín àwọn ìlú wo ni Australia Belgium ṣé wàá mọ̀ pé Belgium ẹ jẹ́ kí n lọ padà sí OEC ni ṣe pé kíní ẹ̀ ó máa ń link ni torí pé èmi ti rí gbogbo kíní ẹ̀ síra ríra mo fẹ́ lọ wo ẹ mọ̀ pé lára nǹkan tá à ń export Belgium wà lára ètò ń ra kí tẹ bá rántí kí ni mo ní Belgium máa ń rà jù tó bá yẹ pé bá ń follow program léraléra tá a bá lọ sí kòkó ta ló ń ra kòkó jù lọ́wọ́ wa Netherlands àti Belgium ra 2.7% of kòkó wa Belgium wà lára ìlú tí kò ìjókòó níjọ́ tí wọ́n ní wọ́n ṣe pé in tó máa wúlò fún gbogbo àgbáyé fáwọn tó ń béèrè fún ẹ̀tọ́ ẹ̀jẹ̀ drop kìíní ìdí ó ti tóbi jù mo ti gbé wá sí 125 ẹ rántí data wa ta máa ń lò gbogbo tí Nàìjíríà export 1.3% of cocoa ó yẹ ká lè export 100% of cocoa but wọ́n ti destroy it because gbogbo táwọn bàbá wó lọ́wọ́ tó fi paṣu bàbá ni wọ́n paṣu àwọn ò ṣe cocaine wọ́n ò ṣe drug wọ́n ò ṣe money ritual bàbá wó lọ́wọ́ àbí agbọ́n nínú tàn tó bàbá wó lọ́wọ́ ṣe money ritual kẹ wá sọ fún wa ǹjẹ́ bàbá wó lọ́wọ́ nígbà tí bàbá yẹn ń ṣe regional government ǹjẹ́ agbọ́n nínú tàn pé ritual money ni bàbá wó lọ́wọ́ ń lò kókó àṣàṣìwà níbàdàn bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn àṣewádé pé Nàìjíríà kọ́ import ó export only 1.3% of cocoa ànípẹ́ parí ètò yìí how many hours ni mo ti ṣe cause mo ṣe ń padà bọ̀ nírọ̀lẹ́ òkè ká pa ojú ẹ̀dẹ̀ kó di 3 hours so mo ní just 40 minutes àti ṣe 2 hours 20 minutes. so in tí àwọn try láti ṣe ni pé ṣé Belgium níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn tó wà absentee ṣé kó lè máa ra kòkó lọ́wọ́ wa as a country tó ń pè Nàìjíríà but kò fẹ́ ra as a country tó ń pè ní Yorùbá country or regional government because tá a bá wà ní regional government àwa la máa ta kòkó fún Belgium kò ń ṣe pé federal government of Nigeria ló máa ta kòkó fún wa mo kí Prince Gabriel. So we can see ẹ jẹ́ ká tún wo ìlú wo ló tún wà níbí báyìí tí kò tó wà absentee. Australia kí lọ Australia bá wa rà mo tẹ̀ ẹ́ rí Australia nínú gbogbo tí máa ń post yìí tá a máa ń ṣe. A ti mọ̀ pé UK náà wà absentee ní 1960 December 14 precisely nítorí pé Warisi ní economic interest is part of colonial political economic security interest indeed it is always about the trade ọ̀rọ̀ trade yìí náà ni. So ìdí tí a ṣe ń find it difficult òun ni nísìn pé America ti kí Tinubu nísìn nítorí pé wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ ní trade tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe pẹ̀lú wa tí Tinubu àti àwọn ọjọ́ máa jókòó adẹ̀tírí Shettima ìyẹn Boko Haram number 2 tí àwọn America ti lọ bá fídíò yẹn àmì picture yẹn jáde ẹ jẹ́ lọ sórí photos. This is Shettima àráyè sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ẹ̀ dáadáa lánàá. Shettima lélẹ̀ níbi tó ti ń mu tíì pẹ̀lú àwọn American diplomats. So definitely after this visit ni wọ́n kí Tinubu mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Ọlárẹ̀wájú ẹ bá ń kí Alhaji Shettima lélẹ̀ ó yá gbọ́wọ́ bọ̀ síbẹ̀ bàbá Shettima gbàwọ́ síbẹ̀ kẹ́rí bí Shettima ṣe di ọwọ́ yẹn mú kí ẹ rò pé mi oh my God àti wọ one chance. Ẹ wo bí ṣèbí normally ó kò yẹ kó ṣèkọ̀wọ́ ni ó tún wá di ọwọ́ yẹn mú pé yes àwa ni kí ló ṣe èmi lèmi wà níbí báyìí this one no be Yẹmí Ọ̀sínbàjò short man devil. Ẹ wo body language àbí ṣé mo wrong ẹ̀yin tẹ́ study body language Kingsley àbí I wrong. Ẹ wo body language ẹ wo Shettima ẹ ti bàbọ̀ tí ó ń kí yẹn ẹ wo body language. Ṣẹ́dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé Amẹ́ríkà ò jókòó níjọ́ tí wọ́n ń ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ self-determination tó máa pé ayé wa. United States was absent. Amẹ́ríkà wà absent but ẹ wo picture ẹ wá wo tí wọ́n sọ fún wa nísìn pé the below is the attribute of the spokesperson Matthew Miller ìyẹn fún Secretary Blinken. The Secretary of the State Anthony J. Blinken spoke ó ti pè this morning ìyẹn lánàá with the Nigerian President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That means pé wọ́n ti rí Tinubu bá sọ̀rọ̀ ní Paris torí Tinubu ò ti dé. Today is the 17th. Ṣé date yẹn wrong? 17 náà ni bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Today is 17 bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ ṣé gan ni ìyàwó Ṣófowórà. Mo fẹ́ káwọn ọmọ Yorùbá fi ọkàn bá lọ pé Warisi jìnnà ti sọ́tán it's all about trade òwò tó ń bá wa ṣe wọ́n ń ṣe lórí Nàìjíríà ni àmọ́ tí Nàìjíríà bá ti pín that means pé Amẹ́ríkà máa ṣe òwò yẹn pẹ̀lú gbogbo ìlú tó bá pín lára Nàìjíríà ni nítorí pé resources táwa bá ní a máa sọ fún Amẹ́ríkà pé báyìí la ṣe ń fẹ́ ṣe. Tá a bá tún padà sínú graph yìí mo rí Spain wà lára àwọn tó ń ra crude oil wa olórí burúkú wọn wọ̀ bá wa jókòó tó da ní 1960 lẹ́yìn Indian Spain ló ń ra crude oil wa tó pọ̀ jù ní 12.9% at the value of $5.3 billion. Now ìwọ kúrò ní Nàìjíríà nísìnyí ó ráyè rápárápárápárá gbà tó rí visa ó wá díẹ̀ yín ó di ní Spain wọ́n wá maltreat ẹ. Whereas tó bá yẹ pé Spain ti agree pé kó bá wa endorse declaration yìí of the colony countries because our náà colony countries ni wá but wọ́n jókòó pàdé yẹn but lẹ́yìn nísìn ní 2021 Spain ra crude oil to the value of 12.9%. Ẹ káàsán Mr. Ọlọ́runwájú Ẹbánkẹ́ Alhaji. Ìlú wo ló tún wà ń bẹ̀ tí mo tún máa ń pàdé? France ìyẹn ra Paris mú bọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ yín nísìn. France náà máa ń ṣe kí ni mo kí èyí tẹ́ ti wọlé Ọlá Àjàlá mo kí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa. France náà ra epo lọ́wọ́ Nàìjíríà ní 2021 to the value of 6.9% at the export value of $2.55 billion. And France ibo mo ti kọ 16th wọ́n ní mo kọ 16th ṣé nínú nínú bíbá mo ti kọ 16th ẹ ṣé gan ni ẹrù pọ̀ lórí ọmọ yín náà ní ẹ má bínú mo ti edit lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ okay mo ṣàwọn pé 16 ibo ni mo ti rí 16 thank you so much for that observation ẹ̀yin dẹ̀ lẹ́ máa fún wa ní observation gbọ́n àwọn tó kù báyìí ọkọ̀ jókòó pẹ̀lú mi ní látẹ̀ nǹkan mo kí pásítọ̀ Ògúnjìmí ọ̀tẹ̀ rẹ̀ fún wọ́n rí nǹkan tí mo rí yẹn ẹ ṣé gan ni mo appreciate àti edit ẹ̀ èyí ni 17 not 16 níbo ni mo wà nísìnyí à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa data wa tá a máa ń lò ní bíbá ẹ ṣé gan ni thank you so much mo kí èèyàn wa France was not there níjọ́ tí wọ́n jókòó pàdé 1960 declaration kí ni yìí mean torí ẹlòmíì kan sọ pé àkórí kí ló mean ṣé wọ́n ti declare wa ni no ní 1960 ní United Nations ìjókòó kan wáyé ìjókòó pé kọ́ wá vóòtì tí ó jẹ́ tó ń pè ní General Assembly Resolution 1514 ẹjẹ́ àkọ́kọ́ gbọ́ bí Professor James ṣe sọ ní bíbá èmi àwa sọ tèmi lé lórí.
To their overseas territories. In 1958, France held a referendum on a new constitution, offering independence to any of the colonies that voted against it.
Ó ti ń di 2 years before tó máa dìbò yẹn. So nígbà tí France ń fáwọn ilé ní referendum, kí ló dé tí wọ́n wá endorse that same project yẹn ní 1960? That is still something that we should be asking. Ẹ ṣe mọ́mọ́ wa Fọláṣadé Àjàgbé. Ṣé mọ̀ pé wọ́n ní 1958 lọ fáwọn ilé ní referendum, but nígbà tí UN fẹ́ wá jókòó ilé kí ló dé tí France wá wà absent? Why were they absent? Ìlú mẹ́sàn-án ló wà absent, ìlú 89 ló vote for, while 9 were absent. Wọ́n mọ̀ wà absent nítorí pé kọ́ba lè hold wa ìyẹn lamẹ́ríkà ṣe ń kí Tinubu lẹ́nu torí pé ó máa pẹ́ ká tó kúrò ní Nàìjíríà ká bá ṣe ní ká máa ṣe bí ibà ṣe ní ká máa ṣe yẹn nítorí pé Amẹ́ríkà tó lọ jókòó láti vote kí ni ìdí tí Amẹ́ríkà ò ṣe vote ní 1960 kí ni ìdí kọ́ wá sọ fún wa kọ́ lè má rí gbogbo wa lò ẹ má bínú bọ̀ hello yeah no all right no all right all right later àbọ̀rọ̀ mo yẹn èèyàn wa. This is why I am saying that diplomacy is a over tangu gan. It's all about the trade. Waris Jinadu sọ fún wa. It's all about the trade. Owó tó ń ṣe pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà. Because Nàìjíríà ni wọ́n bá ṣe òwò yẹn. Mo kí bàbá wa Adéọ̀ṣun Timothy. Mo kí gbogbo ní gbogbo bí tẹ wà nísàlẹ̀ lọ́hùn. Mo dẹ̀ kí yín fún iṣẹ́ takuntakun tẹ́ ń ṣe nípa pé kí Yorùbá lè máa gbìn kan. Bọ̀tẹ́mọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ nǹkan ẹ̀gbìn. Ó need a lot of support but nígbà tá à ní state governor tó fẹ́ ṣe rí àwọn ìlú mẹ́sàn-án yẹn wọ́n máa ń bá Nàìjíríà ṣòwò gidi mà ní because mo ti sọ àti tíkì Belgium àti sọ Spain àti sọ France àti sọ UK America gan ọ̀gbẹ́yìn ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sí crude oil America náà wà lára àwọn tó ń ra crude oil wa ìbò làwọn wà òun lélẹ́yìí America ra crude oil to the value export of $2.84 billion US ní 2021. Ìwọ wá ń sọ fún wa pé wọ́n máa jẹ́ ká lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Ṣé o mọ̀ pé trade yìí wọ́n ti sign àwọn agreement míì fún 2 years, agreement míì fún 1 year. It depends on arrangement ọjọ́ ṣe pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà. But ìjọ tí Nàìjíríà bá ti pín, there will be a new war order. A ṣe máa ní a different arrangement pẹ̀lú àwọn ìlú yìí because arrangement ta ní nísìn is under the federal government of Nigeria. Báwo ló ṣe ń jí owó tó wọ́n dé America? Báwo ló ṣe ń jí owó tó ń dé UK? Báwo ló ṣe ń jí owó tó ń dé Europe? In millions and millions of dollars. Owó Abacha tó wà níta kò ṣe máa quantify nítorí pé gbogbo bó ṣe ń ta epo yẹn síta Abacha ò jẹ́ kí wọ́n dá owó yẹn padà sí Nàìjíríà bí Abacha ṣe ń ta bó ṣe ń ra crude oil lọ́wọ́ wa wọ́n ò jẹ́ kówó yẹn padà wá Nàìjíríà wọ́n kàn move ẹ̀ láti bí lọ sọ́hùn láti bí lọ sọ́hùn tó ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí bàbá wa France Professor James Lindsay a ní pẹ́ parí ètò yóò kù just half an hour.
But like almost every other French territory, the Comoros Islands voted overwhelmingly in favour of the new arrangement. Despite this, international calls for decolonization.
Despite nígbà tí wọ́n ní wọ́n ṣe referendum báwọn kan ní 1958, kí ló dé táwọn náà lè ṣe referendum lẹ́nìí? Wọ́n ní kò sí nínú 1999 constitution. Forget it. Tá bá fẹ́ ṣe wọ́n máa ṣe, but they are not going to do it. Tinubu ò ní fún yín ní 19 kò ní change the constitution yẹn tó máa fi clause referendum sí nínú ẹ̀. Àfi tó bá di issue tí gbogbo ẹ̀ fi pẹ́pẹ́ tó dúà lórí ẹ̀ táwa gun níyàn. Tá bá ní ká máa tẹ̀lé ibi tí à ń tẹ̀lé lọ yìí, a kò máa sọ̀rọ̀ in and out. Àìdẹ̀ èèyàn máa bèèrè pé ibo la bá ṣẹ́ dé? No, ibi tá bá ṣẹ́ dé diplomacy lẹ́ wá. Ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ wá please check your inbox. Okay. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ kan sí. Like I said, we all have a role to play. Role yẹn lèmi play. Mo ti rí fídíò yẹn a ti wò ní iṣẹ́ wọlé níyàwó David ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ program gbàrà ọ̀dọ̀ Sowore ni mo ti rí. A ti wò fídíò yẹn mo tún lè play mo torí pé ó ní a bit of blood nínú. Ẹ ṣé gan ni mo ti ka message yìí. Ẹ jẹ́ kó máa defend Nigerian police. Ṣebí gbogbo wọn ní Ṣeun Kuti tó ṣe kò dáa. Wọ́n criticize ẹ̀, wọ́n ní kó blah blah blah. Adé Nàìjíríà ìlú tó ní everybody ló máa jẹ breakfast. Abúlé Ẹ̀gbá fídíò yẹn ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀lẹ̀ lẹ́ni ni o, lábúlé Ẹ̀gbá bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ni o ló ti ṣẹlẹ̀. Ọ̀kadà bàbá yẹn ní sọ ti gbé lọ, wọ́n tún fọ́ lórí, ta ló máa tọ́jú ẹ̀? Ìyá mi jẹ́ ká máa bá tiwa lọ́nbì bá, èmi ni ká máa bú. Kọ́lọ́pàá tó fọ́ nǹkan mọ́ mi lórí, èmi náà ti fọ́ nǹkan mọ́ lórí. Ọlọ́pàá ò lè fọ́ nǹkan mọ́ mi lórí torí pé èmi náà ní wùwà tọ́lọ́pàá máa fọ́ nǹkan mọ́ mi lórí.
Continued, and in 1960 the UN General Assembly passed Resolution 1514, the landmark declaration of the granting of independence to colonial countries.
Wọ́n ní the landmark, but landmark yẹn country mẹ́sàn-án bọ́ọ̀tì Professor James Lindsay country mẹ́sàn-án bọ́ọ̀tì ẹ̀dá gbọ̀ngàn.
Countries and peoples. Well, France.
Òun ti gbẹ́nu kúrò níbẹ̀, èmi ti fi gbẹ́nu kúrò níbẹ̀ yẹn, mo fẹ́ padà síbẹ̀ again. Etí Professor Lindsay sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí òun ní document náà wò níwájú mi 1960 ni wọ́n ṣe resolution yẹn but country mẹ́sàn-án jókòó pẹ̀lú wọ́n endorse ẹ̀ ṣẹ́mọ̀dí nítorí pé wọ́n ṣe trade pẹ̀lú wa. Mo ti print ẹ̀ jáde so mo lè close ilé. Tá bá dárúkọ àwọn country yẹn America, Belgium, Australia, kódà South Africa tó níyín lára òun náà jókòó pàdé yẹn ó wà absentee. That's why tó wá fẹ́ lọ South Africa wà lọ gba visa. Ẹ bọ́ ṣe ń disrespect àwọn èèyàn wa níbẹ̀. 16:01 láwà lénìí, èyí ni Wednesday. A tún padà bọ̀ láago 6 ọ̀nà kó fún mi ní àlàáfíà ní gbogbo oríkèéríkè ara. Portugal wà níbẹ̀. Bàbá Akíntóyè jẹ́ kó yé wa pé ní 1953 tí àwọn Portuguese expedition dé, Ìjẹ̀bú ti wà 500 years before that. But the reason why tí gbogbo wa tí ó dàbí wà pé àwọn Yorùbá ò fẹ́ ká lọ nítorí pé Amẹ́ríkà ti kí Tinubu nísìn. Tinubu wọ́n ti kí Tinubu. It's all about the trade. Whereas lánàá nísìn èèyàn 4 ló kú. Wọ́n ní kò sí American citizen níbẹ̀ lóòótọ́, but àwọn tó kú náà ọmọ Nàìjíríà ni wọ́n. Kọ́lọ̀ fọ́n kẹ́wọ̀n. And this is why we are here to explain 1853 ẹ ṣé gan. Ṣẹ̀rí pọ́rọ̀ Yorùbá nation. Mo ní láti close ilé àti gbọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀nú àgbà àti gbọ́ bọ̀bọ̀ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ṣẹ̀ wọlé wọ́n kí bọ̀bọ̀ kan ní Paul Golden tí ẹni pé ó máa ń sọ pé Britain first. Britain has to be first in everything. Wọ́n ti arrest them more than 22 times. Gbogbo àlọ́ máa ń post oríṣiríṣi fídíò tó rere. Will all those who rioted for the career criminal George Floyd do the same for this victim of police violence? No, cause this man is white. It doesn't fit the narrative. Where was this man's so-called white privilege when he needed it? Shame on the Southwest police. Òun wà against excuse me. Fishing boat in the Mediterranean casually passed a parked migrant vessel tó fi wọ UK. But òun ti gbàgbé pé àwọn UK ló ba ayé jẹ́. àwọn tí eléyìí tẹ́ bá ti wo fídíò tẹ́lẹ̀ àti play tẹ́lẹ̀ kákọ̀ play nìsín England eléyìí àwọn ọmọ Pakistan wàhálà ti wọlé. So bọ̀bọ́ yẹn ń bínú sí gbogbo nǹkan báyìí bọ́ ti gbàgbé pé àwọn Britain ló lọ dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ tó lọ create petition. So ẹ bá fẹ́ lọ page ẹ̀ èmi follow ẹ̀ orúkọ ẹ̀ ń jẹ́ Paul Golding. Now ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ̀rọ̀ nípa declaration yìí. Declaration on the granting of independence to colonial countries tí Nàìjíríà wà nínú ẹ̀ and people tí Yorùbá wà nínú ẹ̀ àti the remaining 250 ethnic groups. Ó wà adopted ní 1960 just about few months after tí Nàìjíríà gba independence. It's called the General Assembly Resolution 1514. The General Assembly, mindful of the determination proclaimed by the peoples of the world in the Charter of the United Nations to reaffirm faith in fundamental human rights, in the dignity and the worthy of human person, in the equal right of men and women, and the nations large, small, and to promote social progress and better standard of life in a larger freedom. Conscious of the need for the creation of the conditions of stability and a well-being and a peaceful and friendly relations based on the respect for the principles of equal rights, self-determination of all peoples, and of universal respect for and observance of human rights and fundamental freedoms for all without distinction as to race, sex, language, or religion. Recognizing the passionate yearning, tàbá sọ pé nǹkan yearning, ariwo tá à ń pa lójoojúmọ́ yearning, ẹ jà lọ wo English dictionary ẹ̀. Tàbá ní yearning, àdákẹ́, a feeling of intense longing for something. Èròǹgbà wa ni pé ká gba Yorùbá country, ká kúrò ní Nàìjíríà, bọ̀ kò ń ṣe èròǹgbà gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá. Because wọ́n ṣe support APC àti PDP, àmàlà àti gbẹ̀gìrì politics tó ń ṣe. Èyí tí Burújí Kàṣámù ṣe títí ta ló fún àwọn ìyá yẹn nísìn, ta ló fún yín lówó nísìn after tí Burújí Kàṣámù ti kú nísìn, torí pé gbogbo ilẹ̀ máa lọ kí síwájú ilé ẹ̀. Tó bá jẹ́ pé sísítẹ́ẹ̀mù ṣiṣẹ́, Burújí Kàṣámù ní láti máa fún gbogbo yín lówó, ó jẹ́ kẹ́ lọ máa gba owó yẹn nínú àkáǹtì lórí ATM, kò tún ṣe lórí POS o, torí pé ọmọ àlè ní Nàìjíríà tó ní kẹ́ lọ máa gbowó lórí POS ní 21st century, born bastard country, ìlú olórí burúkú. Ìlú yẹn ni wọ́n wá ní kémi máa ṣe kéèké ṣátà àwọn ń ṣàdúrà fún Nàìjíríà olùṣì ìlú wo ló ń ṣàdúrà fún ìlú tó ti sínwín òsínwín ní gbogbo yín níbẹ̀ òsínwín country born bastard. Burújí Kàṣámù ti kú nísìn, Ajímọ̀bí ti kú nísìn, ta ló ń tọ́jú àwọn ìyá arúgbó yẹn? Tó bá jẹ́ pé system tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ àwọn ìyá yẹn yẹ kó máa fún wọn ní care tó máa tọ́jú wọn, but gbogbo ariwo tẹ́mi ń ṣe nísìn tí mò ń ṣe tá à ń pariwo ẹni ká lọ ṣọ́tọ̀ èèyàn máa lè ẹ wá ná ọlọ́pàá náà ẹ wá ṣe fídíò olúkàlùkù máa ń ṣe ẹ ṣe bá ọlọ́pàá ṣe fọ́ lórí ṣé orí ló fọ́ tó bá tún dọ̀la kó tún gbórí kejì sí wá fọ́ born bastard. System òṣìṣẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀ ló ń kí síwájú ilé Burújí Kàṣámù ti kú nísìn, ó ti lọ bí ọdún méjì nísìn, ta ló ń fún yín nígbà rí Congo lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí Kàṣámù ti kú nísìn? born bastard. Kí báwo lọ ṣe ń lò ó? What does it mean when someone is Tabani Koiki Media to feel tendency for sympathy? Olórí burúkú èmi ní sympathy fún yẹn, ìyẹn yìí gan ní sympathy fúnra yín, kò ń ṣe ìtajọjọ́ kò torí àwọn ọmọ àlè born bastard wọ́n support APC. Ẹlòmíì pọ̀ bí ẹ dáwọ̀ níjẹ́ kó dá Àbújá gan sẹ̀, tó bá ń lọ Àbújá ọlọ́pàá ló máa pa ẹ́ lọ́nà mo ṣeré torí pé ò ní lówó ra tíkẹ̀. Àwọn bíi Délé Mọ̀mọ́dù àwọn yẹn tètè connect padà. Délé Mọ̀mọ́dù ló bá bá jáde ní sani adẹ́gbọ́n lòun àti Tinubu adẹ́ náà wọ́n jẹ́ lára wọn. Àwọn tó gbọ́n ní àwọn tó máa jẹ́ gangan nìyẹn. Sórí ìwọ tó ń sáré kiri ní gbogbo Ògùn state ò ní rí Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún mọ́ láyé torí pé ó ti lo bálù ẹ nígbà tẹ́ fẹ́ dìbò ẹ ti para yín fúnra wọn èyí olùsì wọn ò ní ṣe títì fún yín. Ẹ lọ wo skúùlù ní Kòròdú ẹjá fi Boko Haram yìí sílẹ̀. Ọba wa ti fẹ́ ìyàwó tuntun kábíyèsí o Jàjàdí second olórìṣà fún ẹ kábíyèsí kábíyèsí àtẹ̀gbá kọ̀ lẹ́nu ṣá Time let fẹ́ máa lọ. Àdẹ gbọ́dọ̀ ju time tí mo ń ṣe lọ. Oya, ẹgbẹ́ ọgbọ́n sókè, ẹ̀mí ti background. Now.
Thank you for picking my call. I'm really, really sad about that, saying Timo Nico. Is just between 18 to 21 to 22 years.
Ben, how to go?
It's only fending for himself and his family the only way he knew.
Ben.
How could somebody now beat him like that? Prepare and show me something like an animal. Because one little animal already.
What is wrong, Commodore?
That country is not working.
Could they work like it? Could they work like that?
So we need to expand in this. Yes, I don't even know the word to use. Look at that boy now. Ọkọ
ẹni tó ń gbọ́kadà lọ sí lọ́ntì ẹ̀ ẹni tó ń gbọ́kadà ẹ ló lọ yẹ ọlọ́kà ó ti gbọ́kadà ẹ lọ ẹ̀rí bọ́ yẹn fún ọkọ̀ ọmọ lórí. Ẹ̀rí bọ́ yẹn fún ọkọ̀ ọmọ lórí.
I can't stop crying since I told my ọmọ kékeré lọ́mọ ẹ̀.
Ẹ wòran.
Lọ́jọ́ ìkínápà ṣinṣin ẹ wá ló ṣe nǹkan tó wrong. Ó ṣe nǹkan tó wrong o. So ẹja máa jẹja sọ́ra ni. If we can trace him your people please. If you can just follow up this case, I will.
I'm sure I'm follow our activists who are solid. Thank you. It's okay.
That country is not working.
All right.
How long are we going to say this?
Okay. Zazu Bolowa, máa fi boni Zazu mi wà níbí báyìí. A ti fẹ́ parí ètò yìí, ó kù díẹ̀ 15 minutes náà ló kù. Mo ń sọ̀rọ̀ lọ ìyá wa tó pè yẹn ara bí amọ̀ ló ń ta wọ́n ṣé bó ṣe jẹ́ kó lọ lélẹ̀ fídíò méjì la máa fi gbà sí fún intan wò lọ́wọ́ yìí ẹ má bínú pé ó ní ẹ̀jẹ̀ nínú ẹ dágbọ́n tí Nnamdi Kanu sọ níbí.
If you don't allow we Biafrans to go, that zoological republic called Nigeria will be a worse place than Somalia, and today it is happening. And if you have not applied for your Somalian visa, please try and do so. Should I say Somali visa? Try and do so as quickly as possible, because the zoo is on the path of destruction, and there is nothing man can do to reverse it. Mark today's date and what I'm telling you. Nigeria will be destroyed beyond human comprehension.
Impediment to Yoruba development is the impediment to Odua development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are. 1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio before South Africa. Now look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces? I don't think that's what we want. But they are always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The patience of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end.
Zadu, I live in this zoo, Babu. I destroy you. Zadu, I live in this zoo, Babu. I destroy you.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
Well, as I'm just, that's the video again. We played it earlier. We pray that there will be solution to the young boy, whoever he is, whether it's Yoruba, Igbo, he's a Nigerian. According to what we are told, we are Nigerians, and we pray that solution will get to him, and those officers will be arrested. I'm just going to fast forward this. I've been telling you the meaning of yearning, to feel tendency or sympathy. The mother that called my beautiful auntie David was concerned about this boy that we just played his video. It's the yearning. But some Nigerians are saying, shut up. Come back to Nigeria. You can't be yearning from there. Who are you to tell us you want to break Nigeria? It's okay. So let me just fast forward this. One of the reasons for the 1514 resolution in the United Nations in December 14, 1960, declares the subjection of the people to align with subjugation. Do you know the meaning of subjugation? That young boy had been subjugated in that blonde bastard zoological country that needs to be destroyed. Kí ló ń pè ní subjugation?
Subjugation.
When we say
subjugation,
tabani,
subjugation,
it is the action of bringing someone or something under the domination of control. Ṣé wọ́n control bàbá yẹn nísìn? If that young boy has a gun, that would be a firepower back. And that's why Seun Kuti did not have a gun, but he fought etí ọlọ́pàá. Orúgbóbọ̀ ni, whatever will bring that crisis, I will expand it more for you all. I am here. Bomb bastard. À ń sọ fún yín pé you are all being
subjugation.
Tabani subjugation. It is the action of bringing someone. Wọ́n mú èmi Ọláyọmí Kóìkì, mo wá sí UK ní 1998. For 14 years, I was restricted by not being able to move because I was looking for document to travel. Document to buy, to go and do kitchen porter. Document to go and do driver, Uber. You too, you are still looking for the same problem. I pray you get a visa and you come and join me in UK, okay? The only problem is me, I have relaxed a little bit. I don't have to go and do full-time for Mokin Baba mi Kunle Shita. Just raising, welcome to the program. That is what was discussed, but 9 countries were absent for something that would help us in 2023. Those countries are Australia, Belgium, Dominican Republic, France, Portugal, Spain, South Africa, United Kingdom, and the United States. And every one of them can see the
subjugation.
But today, Anthony Blinken says congratulations to President-elect Bola Tinubu. Because that word
subjugation.
What is the meaning? To bring under control and govern as a subject, to make submissive. Àwa ti di ọ̀dẹ̀. Tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ wá lọ mọ́lọ́pàá wá. Tí bọ̀bọ́ yẹn bá tẹ̀ wrong. Let's even agree that is wrong. So yẹ kọ́ lagimọ lórí. And wọ́n dẹ̀ lagimọ lórí wọ́n dẹ̀ ti lọ́n ti wọn. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó tú sílẹ̀ yẹn nísìn, ta ló máa treat ẹ̀? Àwọn tó máa treat ẹ̀ máa kúkú ti Ṣòwòrẹ́ ti dá sí i. Ẹ mọ̀ pé yàn wá ní Ṣòwòrẹ́. Ṣòwòrẹ́. Awana Ṣòwòrẹ́. I told you I like Ṣòwòrẹ́ so much. Awana Ṣòwòrẹ́. Nigeria is just a dead zone. Let's continue. Domination, exploitation. Kí ni wọ́n ń pè ní exploitation? Quickly, English dictionary. Tabani, the word
exploitation.
Again,
exploitation.
Tabani,
exploitation.
It is the action or the fact of treating someone unfairly. That young boy was treated unfairly. Oh, yeah, get it down. Quick, shut up. Then somebody will do a video. You sit down there in Nicaragua protest. You are still waiting for Igbo people to come and protest for you. You are all going to eat your breakfast. When Uncle Bishop will send Milano, this is a school. Ikorodu lele. Odogbunya Abikini Con school. This is a school in Ikorodu State. They might as well just turn it to swimming pool. This is Lagos State Government Odogunyan Junior Grammar School. I'm sure Baba Olowo will be so happy. Anyone that has the contact of the boy, please let us know. What? And tó bá mọ bàbá yẹn, àwọn kan ready láti support ẹ jẹ́ ká mọ̀. That's all I can say. This is Lagos State Government. I mean, Baba wa Kunle Shita, I'm sure if he was still having his printing, I can tell them to go and print and then put that one on top of this nonsense wey dey like this. And the school does not even say it to just put Elolope costume. That shows the madness in that Olori Buruku country you are all calling a country. Continue to wait for progression. Mumbo. This is the new videos and images that came out this week. These are what they are preparing, the Boko Haram terrorists. You can see their firepower. This will not be film trickle. This was sent to me by a military guy, which I don't have to tell you the state. I know it's already in the public domain, but and to send the same military guy in service. I talk to them a lot, and they share intelligence. Some are for public consumption, some are not. This is Borno State. Latitude 11.51626, longitude 13.68869. This picture was taken at exactly on the 13th, 4 days ago, at about 1400 hours GMT, which is 2:17 p.m. If you don't understand what is GMT, look what they got from these terrorists. They are already operating like a country. Àwọn ẹ̀wọ̀n táwọn ilé gbé dání sọ́wọ́ àwọn ní ká lọ máa rán àwọn ọmọ wa kọ́ lọ bá wọn nínú igbó wá pa gbogbo wọn dànù ni. Look at what they have, the firepower. Àti fẹ́ parí ètò èyí nǹkan tí ń get tired láti ẹ wo bọ́ǹbù gbogbo ẹ̀ tó wà ńlẹ̀ẹ́lẹ̀. This was in Borno State, Nigeria. This is what Tinubu is going to come and deal with. We wish him all the best. Ẹ̀wọ̀n tí wọ́n wà lọ́wọ́ wọn yẹn. You can tell that they are rusty, but they are very active. Toba Joyokon, boom! Is this a country? Is this how you want us to continue to live in the night? No problem. Elwo bullets, AK-49. This is the firepower. And let me show you their video behind me. I have the video of these bomb-buster terrorists. Kódà wọ́n ní walkie-talkie. Remember this video. Remember what the late Malafia told every one of us. We don't forget. Make I remind you.
Which is it for you, Dr. Obadiah? Do you think the government is unwilling or unable to protect the people of Southern Kaduna?
In fact, it is not only unable, it is unwilling, and we have good reason to feel that they are part and parcel of the killers. Let me make some revelations to you.
That's a very big allegation, Dr. Obadiah. The government is part and parcel of the killers.
Yes.
That's big.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. How would the government just say, oh, it is revenge killing and so on? Then you leave it there. Oh, because it is revenge killing and so on and so forth. The body language of this administration, the body language of the state government shows clearly that they have a hand in the killings. No doubt about it. Because, you see, General Abacha, and people don't give him his due. Do you think you would have tolerated such nonsense? And let me make some revelations, because some of us also have our own intelligence networks.
Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. One or two who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network. During this lockdown, their planes were moving up and down as though there was no lockdown. Moving ammunitions, moving logistics, moving money, and distributing them in different parts of the country. They're already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They're everywhere. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will move to phase 2. The phase 2 is they will go into the urban cities, going from house to house, killing prominent people. I can tell you, this is the game plan. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria.
Well, that is how far I can go today. As you know, I still have to come out again at 6 o'clock. That means I only have just 1, 2, 3, 4, just about 4 hours not to rest again. This is what we're doing. This is what we love to do. Remember, if you can support what we do, we appreciate it. It's voluntary. If you want to support, the details up there for your own little support. Some people say, why do you ask for support? It is ethical, okay? They will understand. I would rather ask than then allow Tinubu to say, "Hello, Fune, being pani for 100,000," and then they can expose that and say, Koiki Media has just collected 100,000 naira, which is just a stupid chicken change. So we love you all. We continue to appreciate everybody. Bukwari, his tenure is winding down. Tinubu is preparing to get in. Terrorist is not going to finish in Nigeria. Inflation is not going to finish. All the problems that we talked about is not going anywhere. Which one do you want? Do you want the key or you want the bread? Some people prefer the bread. Why do you like that bread? If you want to take the bread, why not let's take the key and then open this gate and get the hell out of Nigeria? So we check it out now. Thank you so much, Kingsley. I appreciate every one of you. But as usual, before we go, we say shout out to our own Igbowo Osha. Baba. Thank you so much for the time spent again. I know 3 hours is a long time. We hope you've been able to learn new things as we do all the time. Later on tonight, the conversation is going to more focus on the attack on the U.S. Diplomat, which is not a very good news. We can only pray for the family of those that have died. They were not just killed, they were burnt as well. That again shows that the barbaric state of things in Nigeria, is going to affect every one of us. Like I always say, we are all have a lot of work to do. Mine is just to come out, share those little things. Yours is just take the email, send it to your senator, tell them about Nigeria, especially that this new news, let's take advantage of it. This one, that's why I'm going to talk about it continuously in the next videos so that it will be there. The reason why we want to go. Look, they just kill your diplomat. I mean, they might not even be US citizens, but they are American staff. So, shout out, and I say, Pata, those of you that have watched it live and those that will watch it later as well, I'm always there, info@koikimedia.com. That is our official email, or musakalam@gmail.com. Like I said, I am bringing out a new other program, which is just going to be no live streaming there, uploading videos, my 24 years in UK. I'm sure you want to learn about me, Abi. You will find it there. If you have anywhere you want me to touch on, I don't do visa. Don't come and say we are doing visa. No, it's just the 24 years I've stayed in this country. I can share different experience from driving on the motorway, going to the post office, basic things. And I'm not talking to Nigerians alone now. It is in English. I'm talking to the whole world. Maybe I will use that to build a platform, and then we see how it goes from there. Mokinyi Yawa Ganeyat. Mommy, my beautiful auntie, I know it's very painful, Mrs. David. That country, we just have to, pray that our prayer and actions will work together. Thank you so much. Like I said, Kingsley says it's going to be, no live video there. It's a new page. It's already open, but I'm still doing the uploading. Over the weekend, I did getting on the public transport, how to get on the bus, how to get on the train, so that it will be there. 10 minutes, not more than 10 minutes. I might get less than 10 minutes, but it's not going to go for 10 minutes, so that I can come back and back and back and forth. Then I'm also doing one that is going to be the Yoruba. I've got my anthem ready. So when I click the next move, so this one as well, I'm doing a book review. I don't own the book. It's owned by Miss Alaja, Mrs. Ira Adeyeye. This was given to me in 2019. She's happy for me to document it out. I don't have the copyright. Mine is just to review the book every 30 minutes of the book. I've done the first 30 minutes. I hope God will give me enough strength. I can start doing it quickly, and then I'll upload it again on our new channel, where you will go and watch it share that. It's all about our culture and tradition as well. Muki Yawa Folashade Ojo for all your support. Great Yoruba Nation, and I hope there's no comment on the MixLR. Let's see, there's two there. Comment plan B say, remain you, White Lion. Shout out to Igbowo Tiwa Tiwa. Love you all. If you're new to the channel, I don't say share. It's entirely up to you to take it to wherever you want to take. If you don't take it, it's already there in the cloud. Bye for now. They can never be like me, even if I give every details. Nobody have used my 24 years. A minimum 24 years here. So if anybody wants to do the same thing, you would have to have done something that would not be what I'm doing. 24 years, then you look. Oh, you have to see 24 years, then you look. Thank you so much, Mr. Fab. It's only one life. We just also give somebody a hint. Maybe they can do something in Nigeria to help themselves. In the middle 24 years here, visa and Mufi Wole, Mufi plane, Mufi Demi. So watch out for those videos. It's coming up very soon. I gotta go now. Bye for now. Eshegon, Mr. Fab. Thank you so much. Whatever. Oya, Igbowo, bones okay. Igbowo sha. Oya, bones okay. O ma ta lójú o, o ma ta o, o ma ta o.
Ẹ má fojú ko eruku ata abẹ́ ń bẹ eruku ata tí o ṣe fojú ko bàbá wà gbogbo Nàìjíríà. Ẹ má fojú ko ata ẹ lójú. Ọmọ Oòduà. Ọ̀gá Fúlàní ló jẹ́ o. Yorùbá nation yìí ti gbogbo wa ni. Kó má gbọ́dọ̀ bàjẹ́. Torí kò sílùú mìíràn. Life is so funny. You come with nothing, then fight for everything, and later leave everything and go back with empty hand. God is powerful.
Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Have a very good afternoon. Bye for now. Thank you so much.